It is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah, I had to cover for you while you figured out how to turn the mic on. I mean, if you're going to be a diva, and I could turn it on.
Well, no, I couldn't hear myself, so I just figured it was.
Okay, all right.
Hold on.
All right. So it's okay. We're good. We're good now. Amateur.
I didn't have the headphones plugged in. That might help.
Yeah, it does.
It is the Rob Brownless Show, as I call it. I like the ring to that. I think it has a good ring. The Rob Brownless Show.
Nope.
Oh wow. What was the first thing you played? I couldn't really hear that all the way. Was that the kitty thing again?
Good morning.
I don't even know what that is.
Good morning.
You don't know what
good morning.
You don't know what a good morning is?
It took me a minute, dude.
I'm gonna have fun with you. You're just not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
Maybe about 9:30 or so.
Still waking up. I'll be awake about 9:30. Try me again at 9:30, and we'll get back to you. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown today. The one, the only, Lonzo in the house as well. Always a pleasure being with you this morning. We're on the stream bright and early as well. Good to see those on the stream. Several ways for you to get in touch with the show. You can call in. Phone lines are always open. 844-FAN-PHONE. That's 844-326-3663 is the number you can get in touch with the program. Lonzo's always in a bad mood, and I mean, I could come around and move that. It's not that much of a reach. I mean, I know you're a shorter person, but I mean, you talking about the paper? Yeah, I mean, you can reach it. It's even on like an easel, so which rhymes with diesel. But I think, you could. Okay, not like it? Well, you're squinting as you're trying to read it. It's a long way, but it would require. And it's a little dark in here because we prefer mood lighting. It is dark. You know why? Why? Because when you see that beautiful sunrise. When it happens, does it rise right here? No, but it gets daylight. So I mean, it's you get to see it out the window, and it's like dawn has broken. No, that's beautiful. I mean, listen, I tell a lot of people, people that sleep in have no idea what they miss. I'm an outdoorsman, so I love being in the woods, and being in the woods when the sun comes up, man, there's few things like it. There is few things like it, Lonzo. It's one of the prettiest things, especially seeing the woods wake up, right? Just all the birds and all the nature. Seeing everything wake up, it's incredible. You should be able to hear it also, you can hear it. Yeah, it is. You can hear it. If you're awake, you can hear it. I live in the woods. So, right. So I hear all that when I go out my door and hurry to my car, hoping nothing gets me. Well, speaking of that, I have a few questions for you, Lonzo, to start the program. And I also have a few questions for the audience. I was thinking about a couple of things this morning with it being an early wake-up call, right? The new show time and everything like that. So I'll ask the audience their two questions first. I'll let you answer as well, Lonzo. Then I have a couple of questions for you regarding the new program, the new Showtime, because I want to see how Lonzo has adapted to the new time. Has what's that animal that adapts the color of their skin? That would be a chameleon, I believe. I want to see how much of a chameleon Lonzo is. So we'll find out. But the first two show questions I have, I was getting coffee this morning, and I want to get your opinion as well, Lonzo. And I didn't go to a coffee shop this morning because it was so early, but when you go to a coffee shop as a guy or a drive-through, that counts as well. Is there such thing as a manly coffee order, or do you just kind of have to cross your legs and fire away? The reason I say that is this is I'm drinking like a French vanilla cappuccino from QT, very simple, but I still feel kind of, just not myself. I don't feel myself when I order something, but luckily at a gas station, you don't have to order it. That's why I like it. I can get a French vanilla cappuccino. I don't even know what that means, and I don't have to say the word. Nope. Do you think there's such thing as a manly order at a coffee? Okay, so you're with me. You're with me. All right, here's the problem. You're not a coffee drinker. And I think you and I relate a little bit more than Rob and I do on certain life experiences, but I will tell you that he accuses me of killing the bit all the time because I don't do stuff that he does, and that makes me a bit killer. Yeah. I have never drank coffee. So, and never, like in your entire there's a coffee breath just makes me want to
I just don't like. So I've tasted coffee before, and it's like, okay, I don't get what it's a lot like grits and some other things. If you got to put a bunch of stuff in it,
you don't like grits either?
Well, if you got to put a bunch of stuff in it, then the root, the root of the thing, the base is pretty bland and it's pretty nasty. So if you got to put stuff in it, if I need caffeine, I'm going to get something with flavor in it. I mean,
well, this has
like
a lot
a
of flavor,
like a Diet Dr. Pepper. I
right.
don't need
well,
I don't need coffee.
But listen, this I'm not a coffee. I don't love the taste of it, but this cappuccino, if you will, I don't feel manly saying.
Did it have foam? I think
a little bit of foam.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you make sure that you drunk enough just to get that on your mustache? And did you feel like a little kid when you did that?
I felt like a girl, but it's okay though. You have to. Here's the deal. I think the only coffee.
At least you didn't feel like a woman, and then started singing that thing.
Now I want to sing it. The only drink that I think you can order as a guy and get away with it is black coffee. Right
there, you go. That is very manly. If I'm in a establishment and a guy orders a black coffee, I think he's a trucker, or someone a fireman, someone like that. Man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a guy. No nonsense. I'm out here to do my thing.
And here I am ordering up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you asked my opinion.
I like it. Cuban coffee, espresso, double espresso. I'm just reading the list of these type of drinks to see if they sound manly or not. Latte. Listen to this. Preferably without a heart or lotus flower design on the top. Nitro draft. Irish. The first time I ever heard the word cold brew,
by the way, I believe an Irish coffee has alcohol in it.
Oh, does it?
I believe it does. Yeah.
The first time I ever heard, I'm not even a coffee drinker, but the first time I ever heard cold brew, I thought that's what it was. I thought cold brew had some kind of, beer in it.
I just thought it was cold, but
I don't think it is. Is it?
It's cold. Oh. I think.
Oh, that's why
they brew it cold.
Well, you're asking the wrong person.
Well.
I'm a coffee guy.
I would say I'm older and wiser, but let's face it, I'm just older. Yeah, it would be. So I know there are people down the hall who also do morning shows who swear by coffee, but this is where we're finishing up our second week today. Well, some of us are, and yeah, I don't need coffee. If I need a little bit of caffeine push, I will get what I call pop and what you weirdos call soda.
Yeah, you call pop.
Yes.
Texter says, from the 526, Zoe, what's up with Facebook? No live stream. I think that's false information there. I believe we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, we are. If you're looking at Rob Brown's Facebook,
I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, Rob Brown is not here, so I'm not going to put it on his Facebook. My personal Facebook, it's up on the fan Facebook page.
That's what it is.
And up on the fan YouTube page, and on the Rob Brown Show YouTube and Twitch.
Man, we're everywhere.
Yeah, as well as it's on my Twitter page. So check out Lonzo on Word on Facebook or Twitter, and check out the fan Upstate on either Facebook and YouTube, and Rob Brown Show on Twitch and YouTube. So we're up there. You just got if you are normally look at the Rob Brown Show, well, Rob Brown is he's in preparation right now for something.
Ooh,
so
that sounds deep.
He might actually be in the restroom right now listening.
That he could be.
He might be, because he is getting a. He already talked about. He talked.
I heard a little bit of it yesterday. I'd like to know more about it though, because I'm not a.
Well, you're going to have to. You're going to need to do it eventually. All guys do.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know what all it entails.
So here's what you do. You can't eat for like a day or so. Then you go to. You start with soft foods. Then you go to like broth, and then you have to take things that clean out your system. Miralax is usually what they prescribe, and they prescribed that to Rob, and he said they told him to mix that with Gatorade, which is just sounds nasty.
It does sound nasty.
Yeah. So, and then you spend some quality time in the throne area, and then later on, some people spend some quality time in your throne area as they stick a camera right up there.
Oh.
And they go up and check out your colon. That's why they call it a colonoscopy, to make sure there's nothing going on cancerous or anything like that. So it's something that guys need to do.
So you're supposed to have it done regularly? Or what?
Well, I think it's around your 40s you do it. And then than like every 10 years. So I'm due for another one. I just haven't done it in a while.
This is like your fourth after your 40th, right?
Well, that's funny. I'd be 70 or 80. No, I'd be 80, which I'm not. But yeah, so I mean, it is people, guys don't want to do it, and I completely understand that, but it is something that you need to get done to make sure that everything's okay. So
well, I hope Rob's goes okay this morning. I hope it.
I hope everyone knows who he is. That's all I want. Everyone in there to go, hey, you're Rob Brown, just so he feels really uncomfortable as he goes under.
Well, the 6 a.m. Club, we're happy to be with you this morning. Let us know about your coffee order. If there's such thing, as I can't speak this morning, if there's such thing as a manly coffee order. Kevin says there's his friend Zoe. Have you seen the Bigfoot from Gray Court, Zoe? I have. I actually have seen that. Is there really one over there? Or is it you?
There's more than, well.
Is that what he's talking about?
No. But I mean, you know, yeah, I do. I do. And Kevin's around that area. So, I mean, you know, there is a, going down a certain road, someone has a Bigfoot cutout, like right by the edge of their bushes. Yeah. It's hilarious. First time I saw it. But if there were a Bigfoot in the area, which I don't think that they're here yet, they migrate down from North Carolina somewhere in November to December as it gets a little bit cold. Yeah, because we come in families. I mean, there hasn't been just one Bigfoot forever because he'd be really old. So yeah, they come in families. You know, Bigfoot women, little Bigfoot.
That might be offensive.
What?
Calling a woman a Bigfoot.
I don't know. Next time I meet one, I'll do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. Part B of the show question. I'm wearing shorts this morning. You're wearing long pants. When is it officially illegal to wear shorts? It's not cold enough for me yet. Like it's in the 50s this morning. That's cool. But I love the cold weather. I'm a cold weather lover. I love cold.
You're also wearing a hoodie. I want to point that out.
Wearing a hoodie,
which you can see on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or the X rather.
But when is it I mean, it's October 20th. When is it illegal in your opinion to still wear shorts? Because I'm probably going to wear them up until December.
I just stopped wearing shorts like last week. But there's
for what reason? You started getting cold?
Because I'm old. I'm old.
Felt like it was
because I'm old.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't feel pressured by anybody?
No. And here's the other thing. And when it gets a little bit cooler, it feels a little bit more like football for me.
Yeah, it does.
And so because it feels like football for me, I want to dress like I did back in high school, like 49 years ago or something. Yeah. It wasn't that long ago. But my legs get cold and the rest of me doesn't. So yeah. And my feet are like ice cold. That's what happens when you get in your 50s and you're close to death. Yeah. So you'll be there someday. I won't be around by then. So no, because actually our family's long lived, like into the hundreds.
Like the
yeah. So like the Bigfoot. So I might actually be around.
Well, I'm a shorts guy, you know, especially like on Friday nights when I go cover games. I think this is the time of year I usually transition to pants. But I believe.
Do you wear pants on the Saturday morning scramble?
No, never have.
Okay, all right. Does Alex Guest, the star of the show? Does he?
Star?
Yeah.
You know, that's a great question.
So you've never. Good on you for not noticing. I mean, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's terrible, isn't it?
No.
That's a totally.
I don't go around going. He's the only person I notice in the building when it's cold, who's still wearing sandals is Stone Man from Classic Rock 101.
See, I like that.
Yeah, but I think it's the British blood in him or something. Yeah, the dude never gets cold.
Okay, so for example, tonight, if I'm out covering high school football tonight, right?
Which you will be, right?
I will be.
Yeah.
At 7:00, it's 63 degrees. To me, 63 is still shorts weather. The coldest it's going to get around 10, 11, 56 to 54 to 56. That's what it is right now.
Right. And that's really the reason why I'm wearing that is because it's a little bit cooler in the morning. And I'm also trying to get used to it because it will get colder. It's not going to get that much colder. It's South Carolina.
I hate clothes. If I could not wear any clothes, I'd be okay. I hate them. I hate wearing more and more. The more clothes I have on, the worse. I feel like we were born naked. We should be naked.
Okay. Let's not do that in the studio.
Yeah. Not be naked.
Yeah. Let's not do. They do that down the hall. We don't need to do that here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
wow.
You know.
I didn't know we had that kind of show here.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Rise guys, I think they're naked most of the time.
Wow.
Ask them. They'll tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
You're talking like you know.
Well, I may have happened by the studio.
Oh my goodness, that's great. All right, here's my question for you now, Lonzo. I've asked the audience 2 questions. My question to you is, the new showtime. Obviously, it used to start at 9 a.m. Eastern. Now it's starting at 6 a.m. Eastern. How did the new show, and this is asking out of curiosity, have you gotten used to it yet as far as waking up early? And how did it change not only the time you wake up, but the time that you go to bed?
Well, first of all, in radio, there are 2 time slots you want. It's either the morning show or the afternoon drive. Those are the time slots you want.
Right.
So you will make sacrifices to get there. And we have moved our way down starting at noon to 3, then 9 to 12, and now in the morning, which is the prime spot where we wanted to be. I still work on our sister station, WRD. And I started out over there doing, after a year there, I started doing the morning show and did it for 14 years. So it's not like I haven't been here before.
Right.
Which was awesome because I got to do everything with my children. I got to go to football and wrestling and all that stuff. Yeah, I was there for everything, which was awesome. Got to see every bit of that. So it was worth it for that. Now it's more about want to do more for this station and also wanting to be in drive time because there's more opportunities.
So what's your normal bedtime?
Somewhere between 9:30 and 10.
That's not bad.
I should go to bed earlier, but I don't. So
and you're waking up at
4:10 usually. This morning I woke up at 3:50.
So you're getting
I got up a little bit.
Yeah,
which normal. I used to have the old whatever Fitbit, and my max sleep was always 7, so I'm technically losing an hour.
Yeah.
And
I don't think 6 is the worst. You might be better off at 6.5 or 7, but
yeah.
But I'll tell you this: going to bed at 9 o'clock is hard.
It is.
It is hard. I mean, especially here's what I've always not understood and struggled with. Right. So when I lived in Texas, the CBS affiliate out there, they went on the air every morning at 5:30, and I would listen when I was up. Right. If we were working or whatever it was, but whenever I wake up, I would tune in. Those guys, what I think the biggest struggle is, like for you and them, especially in a big market like Dallas, and we're about to hit a break here in a second, but the struggle is, Lonzo, you have to be up at 4 o'clock. If for their case, a 5:30 airtime, for your case, 6 o'clock airtime, but on the East Coast, so many games don't start until 8 o'clock. So it is tough. I imagine it's got to be tough to be able to really cover, like last night's game, for example.
Yeah, I watched the first half, and usually that's what I watch. And even with the prime games on Thursday night, NFL Network will show them in the morning. Yeah. So when I get up, they're actually on.
Right.
So I can catch another quarter while I'm getting ready and eating my breakfast. So
I like it. All right. Speaking of last night's game, we'll talk about it. The Jaguars pulled it out. They were leading. The Saints came storming back as they always do. 15 points in the fourth quarter. A dropped pass in the end zone, and the Jaguars moved to 5-2 on the season. The Clemson product, Trevor Lawrence, looked pretty good last night. We'll talk about it next on the Fan Upstate.
All right, keep in mind we are still live on the stream. So, but if you want to talk, if you want to talk about something else, we can. I can take us off the stream. But good. For now, I mean,
I like it. I have to be reminded because you don't want to say something.
Well, it's on the stream, so I mean, unless you're talking about a certain person, I mean, you're good.
Right.
And I haven't acclimated entirely yet. I'm still really tired during the day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a time to get back on the treadmill. And sometimes I'm looking because I had some knee problems. It still hurts, but I can get back on the treadmill now. And I used to do that before I came to work. So now it's doing it after. And I look at it and I go, just going to sit here just a couple minutes. And then sometimes.
What time do you leave here?
Around 1 o'clock.
That's late.
So
you need to take a nap from like 11 to 1.
No, I don't.
You don't think?
No, I have. I lost 5 hours of production time because we gained an hour a show. So all the work that I used to do, I still have to do, but I have to do it faster. And in some cases, that's a little bit harder to do because everything we do is time sensitive, has to do with time. So, I mean, and I've been having to do a lot more manager stuff lately.
Yeah.
Because we had a morning guy, producer quit. And
what station?
For Word. So,
Timothy?
Yes.
I think did he post something about that on Facebook?
He did.
Holcomb?
Yes, he has.
Do we have 2 Timothy Holcombs, though?
No, we have 2 Tims.
Okay.
And so if your name is Tim and you would like to work in radio, please apply to WRD.
Why did he quit?
Money, I think. Huh. Plus, he was there for a while, and he's a young guy and wanted to try his hand.
What's he doing now?
I'm not going to say because we're live on stream. Yeah, I'm not going to say.
You didn't see what I did.
He's not a Chippendale. I'm not saying that he couldn't pull it off. He probably could, but
What's up, stream? Let's see what this is over here.
So I have someone in there right now who doesn't have a lot of experience. So if you see me have to get up and leave,
You training them?
No, he's been trained, but still, it's a difficult show to run, and it's impossible. It's his name is Will. It's impossible.
Will.
Yeah, it's impossible to train someone entirely because there are things that go wrong that you don't think of. Oh yeah, if this happens, you need to do this, and this is a learn as you go type thing.
All kidding aside, Will does a really good job with his Saturday show. Set up. He takes a lot of good pictures. Promotion. He does a good job. I have to give it to him.
He needs to take more pictures of the star Alex Guest.
Yeah,
I think there's too much Cole Bryson.
Well, he has a lot of requests. People would write in asking to see me.
Okay.
He has to feel the obligation, but
family, that type of thing. Okay, well, distant cousins. Come on, dude. Come on. You talk about me. I'm fine. You're over there just.
That's got to be a screenshot. Oh man!
Don't be fishing for memes. They're trying to make yourself a meme. There's a coffee machine downstairs. I mean, if you want to go, you got to pay for it, I think. But yeah, okay, all right. I mean, I have some diet strawberry cream, Dr. Pepper in the fridge in there. If you need something like that. So, guest today? Other than what time is that guest coming in?
He's coming in he's gonna come in around 8:10. He's gonna be in the studio. He's gonna be on the air the last 2 segments at 8 o'clock hour.
Okay, so we'll have time to go down during the break and get him. All right.
No call, no guest though.
That's my eating time, but I will take the time to go down and.
I can go down there. I don't care.
Yeah, but you gotta have a key to get in both doors. Yeah,
I'd be locked out.
You would.
Then there'd be no show.
Oh no, I'll do it. And
on that, I would have canceled.
Then I'll laugh at you. No, I don't want to do it. I'm not good enough. So yeah, but together, we're adequate.
You know what I was gonna do if me and you worked in the same building and we had time this morning. Yesterday we were gonna sit down, me and you together in a little pre-show meeting. We were gonna pull audio. We were gonna rank. I wanted to do this, but it takes a lot of work. We were gonna rank the best ever songs about Friday. So the best Friday songs, we're going to rank them. My favorite is George Jones. You know that one, don't you?
No, because country is torture. So, no. Yeah. Ain't nothing more country than George Jones. So, yeah, don't get us flagged.
Oh, sorry, Facebook.
I love being able to do that because I don't want to hear no George Jones.
So you lied.
No, I did not lie.
Says it's finally Friday.
See, that's just like I'm listening to it. We're back.
Good morning.
The award-winning Rob Brown.
Two-time South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Show of the Year.
I like it.
The Rob Brown Show. Yeah.
I feel so honored.
We went to ceremony and everything. Rob and I We dressed up as Cowboys.
I saw pictures,
yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah. We stole that show like we do every morning 6 to 10.
Ooh, I like it a lot. Last night we had on Prime. We're not talking about Colorado. We're talking about Amazon Prime. We had the Jaguars and the Saints last night. As Lonzo said earlier, he watched the first half of that game. I was in the same boat as Lonzo. I
watched highlights this morning, so I know about what happened at the end.
Yep, and I was in the same boat. I went to bed at halftime as well. The Saints came storming back, 3 points in the third quarter, 15 points in the fourth quarter, and they had a chance. They had a chance to tie the game in the end zone in the final segment, in the final seconds, and the ball was dropped. I did see the only Rob Brown, host of this show, who is a Saints fan. He was a little frustrated, if you will.
Yeah, like he normally is.
Right, he should be.
As a Saints fan, you're used to that.
Saints fall to 3-4. Jaguars 5-2 on the season. I think that was a big win, even though it's the Saints. Still a big win last night. Trevor Lawrence was 20 of 29, 204 yards and a touchdown. And believe it or not, what was interesting was ETN had a nice touchdown run. But do you know who finished the game, Lonzo, as the leading rusher for Jacksonville? Without looking,
is it a guy with a hurt leg?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that would be the guy with the hurt leg.
How about that? Yeah. So your quarterback led. He averaged 7.4 yards per carry.
I'm going to let your quarterback thing go.
Well,
yeah, because he's not my quarterback.
I'm glad you noticed it. A little shot there, Lonzo.
Yeah, but we are kindred. So I mean, yes.
The quarterback was the leading rusher, as well as obviously the leading passer, as he should be. Trevor Lawrence, 8 carries, 59 yards, 7.4 yards per carry last night.
I just want to say really quick, watching Trevor Lawrence in college and watching him in the NFL, he's deceptively fast. You see him start to run the ball, and you're like, I'm catching that guy, but he has a really long stride, and he's taller than what people think.
I think it's his legs, like the stride. I mean, he is. What is he, 6'5"?
Something like that. I think, yeah.
He is for somebody tall, though. I mean, you mentioned his strides, and I think that's a big part of it. When you watch him run, it's beautiful. I mean, he is. You said it perfectly.
He's 6'6", actually.
So for somebody that tall to be that fast, I mean, that is at the quarterback position. He is underrated as a runner.
Well, and when you saw him do that, beat a couple of teams maybe he shouldn't have in his college game because people didn't realize he could run. You think when he gets to the NFL, there's no way that's going to work there.
Right.
Speed factor. Yeah. And it actually does. And I think people are still, I think even the other NFL players are still shocked that he can move as fast as he can. Because it looks like he's going slow, but he's making up such ground.
As an Ohio State fan, you probably remember the debut of those legs, if you will.
I do.
67-yard touchdown.
I do. That's why that's how I have firsthand now. I mean, I wasn't there, but I watched the game. So, yeah, that's what it's like.
That was a long one. I mean, 67
Hey, guys, he can run. How about try tackle him, that guy?
Yeah. So, again, Jaguars 5-2.
They learned how to do that later.
They are now atop the AFC South, a pretty bad division. And in the AFC South, the Jaguars, Colts, Texans, Titans. Jaguars 5-2. The next best are the Colts and the Texans, who are tied at 3-3. That seems like it is Jacksonville's division to lose, if you will.
Yeah, but you know what? It looked like that in the beginning, and then they kind of went a little bit Jacksonville-y and looked like, they're overrated.
That is the only issue I see with this team. They are super talented. I think the defense still has ways to go. But when you do watch them, and I watch them on a consistent basis because of Trevor, you're right. There are times you watch them and you think, man, they still – and listen, Doug Peterson's done an incredible job. But at times, they still have a little Jacksonville in them.
Well, if Rob Brown were here, he would say it's the Urban Meyer effect, and that it's still. And I don't agree with that. Peterson is too good of a coach to not to not surpass and get rid of all that. It's Jacksonville as a team, as a whole in history. They kind of do that.
They do. And listen,
hey, the Panthers do the same thing. It's those two teams came into the league together, and they kind of have that same sort of thing where they look like, okay, they got it this year, they got it together, and then
all of a sudden
they go back to what they were.
Now, if you're going to make that comparison, Jacksonville right now is, I don't even know if they're on the same planet as the Carolina Panthers right now in terms of stability and where you want to be as an organization.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you.
Jacksonville has a quarterback, and they could not be more assured that they have a quarterback. Carolina, obviously not the case. Now, Jacksonville last year, they were a few plays away from playing in the AFC Championship game. That game with Kansas City was very close, and Trevor's always played them close, played Patrick Mahomes close. So, they're a team that I believe in the AFC. If they were in the NFC right now, Lonzo, I'd probably sit here and say they're the one of the favorites. I mean, literally in the NFC, you have the Eagles and the 49ers.
Yeah, on the stream, Weenus and Pitt fan says Jacksonville are Panthers of the AFC, and also, except Panthers have 2 NFC championships, which they do, and they went to the Super Bowl twice. Lost both times. Jacksonville hasn't done that yet. And when Peterson came in there, and you couldn't help but thinking this is the guy that's going to help Trevor Lawrence truly acclimate to the NFL, the speed of the NFL, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that it's paid dividends bringing that guy in to coach him. But I think people need to slow down a little bit, thinking that, well, they made the playoffs last year. They won a playoff game, which was a shocker how they were able to do that, come back. Yeah. They're not there yet, but you can see
they're where yet. You don't think
where they can compete for a Super Bowl. I do think that they probably should win the South if they don't get Jacksonville again.
Right.
Anthony Richardson going down for the Colts hurts them, and
big in a bad way.
And it helps Jacksonville because that was the competition, and now there is none.
To your point, saying I don't know if they're there yet, I do believe that in the NFL, if you have a quarterback, and when I say quarterback, I mean a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. I'm not putting him in the same category as Mahomes, but I do believe in the NFL that if you have a quarterback like that, you're a contender. And listen, Jacksonville is not their defense. Like I said, I think they still have some holes. You said it earlier. At times this year, they still look Jacksonville-ish, if you will, if that's a word. But at the end of the day, when the playoffs get here, you've got a quarterback who, last year in the playoffs, it was his first time in the playoffs. He won a playoff game. That's big. Your first time there, you win a playoff game. A lot of quarterbacks, I'm a fan of a team that doesn't know much about winning the playoffs, so I can attest that that's a big deal. But I think with a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, as good as he is and as talented as that offense is, I think they are a contender. I really do. Now, to the point that the comment on the stream, except the Panthers have 2 NFC championships. Well, how long did the Jacksonville Jaguars have Blake Bortles as their quarterback? And Cam Newton, during the same time frame in Carolina, they were winning NFC championships. They won 2 total. They've won 2 in franchise history, and obviously 1 with Cam Newton. But the thing about it is, you've got to have that. What did I just say? You have to have that quarterback. Jacksonville hadn't had the quarterback since they came into the NFL. Carolina Panthers were so fortunate to get Cam Newton, and look what happened. You get a quarterback, and they had an incredible defense, and all of a sudden they're playing in the Super Bowl. Jaguars have not had that quarterback, and now they do. They don't have the defense that the Panthers had in 2015, but they've got a quarterback.
All right. So they're winning the South. So the AFC South and the NFC South, do you see a playoff team? I mean, someone winning a first round game out of either? I don't.
The NFC South, no.
Yeah, I think they're comparable, other than their more victories for the AFC South.
Out of the 8 teams that you just mentioned, the Jaguars are, in my opinion, the best out of those 8. Would you say? Obviously, they beat one from the NFC South last night. the other team that they have.
I would say if Baker Mayfield is playing like he was early on, that maybe that would be comparable. Maybe
you like Baker more than Trevor, or just as a team you like?
No, we're talking about comparing conferences.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I am the guy, and you're following Jacksonville because Trevor was your guy in college.
Yeah.
I am one of those guys where I'll take a jab here or there in the NFL, but where you went to school in college, I'm not going to hold that against you in the NFL. So I'm not going.
You shouldn't.
I'm not going. I don't want people to think, well, you just don't like Jacksonville because, I mean, that's not true.
But a lot of people do that, believe it or not, especially South Carolina fans.
Well, I've heard that from Clemson fans. So, because
no.
I know more Clemson fans than I know South Carolina fans because there are many Clemson fans in the building. It's why the walls are suddenly orange.
I don't know about that.
Disgusting.
You may be exaggerating a little.
Oh no, I'm not. I can start naming them.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're sitting across from one. That's the only one.
Well, I think we're well aware of that.
I don't know of any other ones currently in the building. I know there are other morning shows going on, but I don't know of any other ones in the building at the moment.
Hey, I got a tiger growl for you.
I like it. That's not nice. That's not nice. All right, it is the 6 a.m. club. We're glad you're with us this morning on the Rob Brown Less Show. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown this morning. Glad to be with you, Lonzo, the one, the only. He's in the building as well. We'll talk about a little Gamecocks next. I had a bet in before the season started on the Gamecocks, and I want you, the audience, to tell me if it's blown up, is it done, or does it have hope? We'll talk about it next on the other side. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Ooh!
Come on, Cole. You got this, dude.
I got this.
It's raining outside.
Is it raining?
Yeah, it's been raining. Look at the window. You don't see the window?
It started this week?
It did. It started right when we went on the air.
Oh,
yeah.
So no sunrise this morning?
Well, it'll be daylight. The sun's going to come up. We're just not going to be able to see a lot of it.
Oh, I'm missing some comments. Weenus and Pitt fan accept Panthers. What's up, Jacob? Good morning, Lonzo, as well. Weenus and Pitt fan. Jackson started at the same time as Panthers. Patrick with a chicken. Oh, I guess he liked us. We're saying something about Carolina next.
Well, look at his picture. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know you're having trouble seeing this morning.
I have contacts. I'll pull for Jacksonville because I want the South of the SC to be tough. I'll pull for Jacksonville because I want the South. Huh. Welcome, Cole. We got to get my Catamount some love against Furman this morning. Ooh.
I don't know, man. Furman's awful good.
Furman's had,
I think, ranked number 3 in the nation, I believe.
Past 2 or 3 years, they've really, they're legit. They're legit.
Just a reminder, at around 54, there's not going to be any music. You just hand it off to me.
Flash.
For a sports flash. Yeah, we're not doing news flashes.
Sports flash.
Sports
At
flash.
6:54.
Yeah, around there. And same as 7:54, same at 8:54. There isn't one. If you want to wake up, turn the ring light on.
That's right. Diesel did that last time I hosted that thing. Or maybe it was you.
It was me.
Man,
it's all right. You shouldn't get confused. Diesel has a wrestling beard. I don't. There's more than one button there. I'm just saying.
Let me look and see what I look like with the light versus all. Ooh,
Would that be Gaffney Indian football? I don't know.
Where's that?
On this stream. Turn your light on, and then there's a couple buttons above it that will change the strength of it and the kind of. There's a comment on the stream.
How about some Indian football? Go on ready. All right, let's go. Ooh. Woo! Oh, change the colors.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, here's the lowest.
It might wake you up.
Rob, you shaved. It looks good.
You got shorter too. I don't know what happened there, but you know.
That versus that. I like that. I like no light.
I have to give myself a little light so I can read, but
I don't know how to do that anyways.
Well, I could put my stuff up on the screen, but I have a limited bed that I'm supposed to do all this in, and it's a challenge.
I wish I was doing that.
So I, normally Rob writes a good portion of the Sports Flash, and then I rewrite it to how I write. So if you have any complaints today, listeners, I wrote everything. So I mean, which is what I'm supposed to do. But Rob has I think a journalism degree or something. So why not have? But he writes for TV, and I keep telling him, you're writing for TV, you're not writing for radio, and the best way to write is write how the person speaks. So I call it Mongo speak because I speak like Mongo. Lonzo speak like Mongo. Lonzo Pawn in Game of Life. You have never seen Blazing Saddles?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a movie guy. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that. But even as not a movie guy, you know what a TV is. You watch sports on it. There on occasion there are things other than sports on TV.
NCIS New Orleans is about
there you go. But see, that's something.
That's the only thing I watch.
So you don't know about the guys rite of passage movies that you have to actually watch, which is probably changed by now. But there are a couple movies you need to watch: Blazing Saddles. You need to watch Caddyshack.
Now I'll tell you this:
have you watched a Star Wars movie?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I liked it when I was younger.
Okay.
And I still I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, because you made it sound like that you've grown up and now you don't. Yeah, but that's fine.
I do like though?
What is that?
I do like on TikTok.
Howard Johnson is right. Go ahead. You've never seen the movie, so you wouldn't get it.
On TikTok, there will be short movie clips, like the interesting parts of the movie, and it'll catch my attention, and it'll make
you see the size of that chicken. I'm listening to you, but I'm also commenting on.
I'm gonna pull up the movie last night. Oh, that I haven't seen that somebody told me last night. I cannot believe you hadn't seen it, just like you. The Equalizer.
The original or the one with Denzel in it?
Denzel.
Okay, I haven't seen the one with Denzel in it.
When's how old is the original?
Oh, it's old. I think it was a TV series.
Really?
Yeah.
The one with Denzel was 14. Oh, it was a series, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Equalizer 3 just came out in the theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
Yeah, there've been a couple.
Well,
with Denzel and all of them. I think this last one he said will be his last one, but a lot of people say that till there's
the very first ones.
No. They're his movie.
Oh, okay.
There's been 3 movies now. One just came out to theater like a couple months ago or a month ago or something.
So there's been 3 plus the Equalizer, the series.
Yeah, he wasn't in the series because that was a long time ago.
There's been 3 different.
Yes, 3 different Denzel movies.
I need to listen to y'all's movie show that y'all do on Saturdays.
You might be lost, but you also might smile. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
About more,
No, we talk about everything, dude.
It is the Rob Brown Less Show, as I like to call it, when Rob Brown is out of town on vacation. I was just trying to rhyme a little bit there. I don't think he's really out of town, but he is having a little procedure done this morning.
He'll be out of town, as far as consciousness here pretty soon.
Oh, they put you under pretty good?
Yeah. Well, would you want someone? I mean, you don't want to be awake for that.
Ooh. No, that'd be rough. So Rob will be back with you Monday. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown this morning. Glad to be with you. As always, we are on the stream. You can call in to the program, 844-FAN-PHONE. Phone lines are open, as well as the text line, 71307. Start your message with FAN. We're off and rolling this morning.
Would you like me to give the phone number so you don't have to strain?
Let me try it first. Without looking. Ready? I say this like 6 times every week on the Saturday show. So I should know it. 844-366.
No, 326.
844-326-3663.
There you go.
There's the number.
There you go.
Oh, I was one number off. 844-326-3663. One more time. is the number you can get in touch with the program. Call it, line it up. Let's go.
What weekend show are you talking about, Cole?
Saturday morning scramble, each and every Saturday right here on this lovely station. It's not as lovely as it used to be. Lonzo used to produce every now and then.
I did my one this year.
You did your one.
And hopefully
one and done.
Hopefully it won't be another one. But
it's just like Duke basketball.
Yeah, that's me. It's a wonderful program. You should check it out. You get all the latest things that are going on in high school. Plus, he's live at a local Ingles with the star of the show, Alex Guest. Yep. And he also has a bunch of guests who are like high school coaches, writers, things like that. If you want to know what happened the night before, it's the show to listen to.
Well, here's the deal.
8 to 10 right here on the Fan Upstate.
What you get with me. And because I'm on this morning, we are going to talk a little high school football. I'm not going to change who I am just because I'm on a different show, Lonzo. We're still going to do a little high school football coming up in the program, so don't you worry. A lot of good games tonight. Lonzo and I will talk about them. Also, coming up on the program, Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen will join us. Trey, first year writing for the Greer Citizen. He covers a couple of teams or a few teams, rather, over in that area, including the Burns Rebels, which you can hear right here on the station every Friday night. But Trey...
Not tonight, though, because they have a bye.
They have a bye. Thank you for clarifying that. Trey will join us in the...
That's all I do is promos.
All you do is promo.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I've done for the last minute.
Well, you know what? We don't appreciate you enough around here, Lonzo.
Yeah, well.
Ever since, and we'll get to my bet in a minute.
I just want more money. I mean, if you appreciate me enough to give me some cash, I'm good with that.
Ever since I called Lonzo the producer and he got offensive.
Excuse me.
I have been more appreciative of Lonzo because he is not only a producer, he is a co-host / producer / executive producer.
All right, yeah. There's a name on my wall out there.
Executive producer.
Yeah, on my door, rather.
/ co-host /
yes.
Long-haired hippie.
I'm
Rob Brown show.
Also known as a with and an and.
Yeah.
I
like it. All right. Before we get to the top of the hour, the end of the hour number 1, by the way, we appreciate those in the 6 a.m. club joining us this morning on the program. Lonzo, audience, are you ready? I really need some help on this. I put a bet in at the beginning of the year that I'm not a South Carolina fan, by the way, so this may surprise you.
Are you serious? You're not a South Carolina fan.
Let me tell you what I did. Obviously, it looks like it's a mistake, but I thought South Carolina would be better than they are this season, and I put in a bet that South Carolina would win more than their total. Vegas had them at 6.5 games to start the season, Lonzo. So I put a bet in that South Carolina would win more, which would be over 6.5 games, and over 6.5 is 7, if you didn't know that. So I had...
There was a moment of pause there while I tried to figure that out. So 6.5
fingers out.
Okay.
Over 6.5 is 7, and I had that bet, and I locked it in at the beginning of the season. Please, 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 somebody help me and give me a vote of confidence, a little bit of hope that bet will still cash. They are currently 2-4. I need them to win 7 games. 7 minus 2, Lonzo, is, get your toes out.
That would be 5.
That is 5.
Yes.
All right. Is there any way South Carolina can win 5 games this season? By the way, this is a regular season bet.
Okay, so I was wondering if a bowl game would factor in there.
It does not factor in.
Okay, all right. So
Lonzo, they play number 20 Missouri Saturday.
They do. At Missouri, yeah.
Probably not going to get a win there.
Well, if they score 52 points, they'll win.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
What about 51?
51 probably not, but they need 52.
So
there's a certain amount of points each week that South Carolina's offense, which is really good, has to score in order to make up for how bad their defense is.
Let's ask you this. Let's ask Lonzo this, and the audience can chime in as well. I need 5 more wins for South Carolina for my bet to cash in this season. It's not looking good, I'll be honest. Missouri, Lonzo, off the top of your head, yes or no?
I think it's coin toss.
You do, really?
Yeah, I do. Because of the offense.
6-1 Missouri.
Have you watched the offense though?
Who's?
South Carolina's offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on fire.
They're the best quarterback right now in the conference.
Yeah, and so
the worst team.
Yeah, exactly. If they're motivated by an emotional coach to the point that he's willing to break bones for them because he cares that much, maybe the defense might show up and think, "Hey, well, I might try to tackle."
I'm going to say this
is the hard.
Carolina goes 2-5.
This is the hardest game that they have left on the schedule.
Okay, so if my bet, I need 7 wins. They're 2-4 right now. Missouri, Lonzo.
I'm going to go with the loss. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going 2-5 at A&M.
Win.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're right, I'm going to improve to 3-5 on this season.
I think offense pulls it off against that.
Okay,
that team.
Jacksonville State.
Yeah,
obviously a win.
Yeah,
we're 4-5. Home hosting Vandy.
Win.
Which we're 5-5.
Yes.
Remember, I need 7 for my bet.
Yeah, I know.
So I need 2 more. Are you ready? Kentucky.
Yes. That is now a rivalry.
That's tough
because of all the culture versus whatever that was last year.
Rivalries. Both teams have to win it.
No, that's true. But what I mean is South Carolina wants to beat them.
I know, I'm with
worse,
you. And it's in Columbia.
Yeah,
that helps.
And then the last one's really gonna bother you.
So here's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
The way this is going to happen. See what I'm saying?
In order for you to win, your team has to lose. Yes.
How bad is that? That's what it's going to come down to.
I don't know.
What do I do in that situation? Just
you're happy either way, depending on how much money you put down. Because if you don't win the bet, then at least your team. Oh, dude, really? Okay.
So what do you do now, Lonzo?
Yeah, you root against your team. That's what you do.
Would you do that in that situation?
I wouldn't bet in the first place.
Right.
If anyone who's known me throughout my history of radio, I don't do really well in bets. Yeah. So I'm
Nobody
not.
Does.
See, well, somebody's got to win some, or they wouldn't still be betting. That's
what Jacob just said on the stream. He said, "What if we're 6-5 when we go into the Clemson game and we get the 7th against Clemson? What then?" Lonzo just said it. I guess I'm in a tough situation there, right? That's a tough one.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, Spencer Rattler is the best quarterback that Clemson will face the rest of the season.
Yes. The Notre Dame quarterback's good. I think
Notre Dame overall is a better team
than
South Carolina, but I think Rattler is a better quarterback.
I agree with that. I do. I agree with that.
And Leggett is a weapon, and they're about to get another offensive weapon back. So, and if they start using some freshmen that are pretty good too, I wish they had some secrets on defense that they could throw out there. So, I'd be worried.
So, as we're sitting right now, we're going to call a spade here, Lonzo, and my bet doesn't look good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look good. And what killed me was the debacle against Florida. I think if they pull it out against Florida, I think I'm okay. I think I have a chance to cash in. However, they blew that game 3 different times. They had that game won 3 times, and they blew it all 3 times. So South Carolina now 2-4. That's what I get for betting on the Gamecocks. I guess that's the moral of the story. That is the theme here. As a Clemson fan, I try to bet. I try to use my head, and I think South Carolina's going to have a good season, and look where I'm at now. 2-4, not looking good on the over 6.5. By the way, that's what the line was that's what the total was all off season from Vegas, and it never changed. So,
can you truly be a fan of the team that you pull for and then put money down on your rival to win? I don't know. I mean, that's
maybe not, but
maybe you have a problem. Maybe you do. I just, by the way, I hope you win the money.
I hope I do too.
I do. Especially, I hope it comes down to that last game and you win the money.
That'd be bad. All right, Lonzo, I hand it off to you, the one, the only Lonzo, for the 6 a.m. Sports Flash.
All right, last night on Thursday Night Football, Trevor Lawrence went 20 for 29 for 204 yards and a TD as the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Saints 31-24. The Saints had a chance to tie the game in the final seconds of the contest, but Derek Carr's pass went off the fingertips of his receiver. Tomorrow in the Battle of Columbia's, the 2-4 South Carolina Gamecocks, like their coach, limp into Columbia, Missouri, to take on the 6-1 Tigers. The Gamecocks bring one of the top offenses in college football, led by Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette. Unfortunately, they also bring one of the worst defenses. Kickoff is at 3:30. Hey, we are your home for Furman Paladins football and basketball. Tune in Saturday as Furman takes on Western Carolina starting at 1 p.m. right here on the Fan Upstate. Another big hour of the Rob Brown Show coming up. Hit that post, baby. Yeah.
We're already getting high school football questions in.
It's what you're known for. So, I mean, that's a good thing.
Mute this real quick if you don't mind.
Oh, let's find the right thing here. Let's do this. We'll be right back in just
coffee drink.
Sorry, I know you guys couldn't hear any of that. My bad, because I didn't push the buttons.
It's not really manly to say, let's go to Chicken Salad Chick.
Have you been in their bathroom? Their bathroom says, thank you for bringing your wife.
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it does that. Yeah.
I went with Hendrix a couple of months ago, and I told him, I said, never really asked a guy to go eat at Chicken Salad Chick, but here we are.
Two manly men inside a Chicken Salad Chick and join.
Like
their food is good, by the way.
Food is phenomenal. It is. I love it. I love it.
And you can tell so do a lot of middle-aged women because they're all in the drive-through right around noon. So
It's
good
healthy,
for them.
Lonzo. It's healthy.
I don't know if mayonnaise is necessarily healthy, but no, actually it's pretty good. Their Cajun chicken salad I really like. Got a little bit of a kick to it, but not too much.
Yeah. Barbecue's my favorite. Barbecue chicken salad.
Yeah. Barbecue's for poor people.
Have you had
just
it?
like hot dogs?
Have you had barbecue chicken salad from there?
Maybe. We tried a lot of their stuff when they first came over there. They've been there for a while.
You know what we should do?
What would that be, Cole?
I might go there today.
At 10 a.m.? I mean.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't know if that's what you want. I mean.
Oh, man, I forgot about that. Yeehaw! It is the Rob Brown Les Show. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that fits us pretty well. How long did it take you to record that, by the way, in the bathroom? You yelling like that?
That was actually the dude who when the plane wrecked. It's that guy.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was. I don't need to go to the bathroom. I have state-of-the-art studios all over here too. It does have kind of a bathroom reverb to it.
Yeah.
But I'm an award-winning producer. I don't have to. Yeah, I don't
need that. Anybody got time for that? All right. We're glad you're with us.
Nope.
We have now transitioned out of the 6 a.m. club. Is it getting daylight outside yet? Let's turn the other way and look. It is not. Let's turn back the other way. We'll check back in a few minutes later. It's raining. Hope you're traveling safe this morning out there on the roads in the upstate of South Carolina or wherever you're finding us this morning.
Hey, let's do that thing. Hey, make sure that you turn your lights on when your windshield wipers are on. Because if you don't right now, no one can see. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
That is a good tip when it's dark outside to turn your lights
on. Yeah, you should do that. Still, some people don't.
You know what I hate? I hate when it's on trailers. When you have a truck or so pulling a trailer, they don't have any lights. You run up on them because you're driving way too fast to begin with, and
Well, I have Mr. Brightside who I couldn't shake this morning. So I mean, it's
Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, it's one side of their light that where they have to have their brights on. Well, actually, this is on 385. Where they have to have their brights on because their regular lights don't work. So one of them's bright and one of them's not. So yeah. So you try to find other traffic to get in front of so you don't. Yeah.
Believe it or not,
my car's set a little low, so the lights are just right there.
I know you're not going to believe this, but there was construction on 85 this morning.
No, they don't do that. That's done, right?
Yeah, right. So I sat for a little while. Steven says, when it rains hard, turn on your flashers, Rob says. I do that.
Come on.
Rob, speaking of Rob.
Come on. That's funny.
Only when it's – let me finish my statement first. Only when it's pouring terrestrial rain. I mean, Lonzo, so bad you can't see it, so bad you can't see in front of you, then I do think you turn your flashers on, but not like regular.
I don't know what the state law is. I do know that is annoying, turning those on in rain. Because to me and Steven, at least.
I think it's the practical thing to do when it's pouring.
No. I think it says I can't drive in the rain is what it says. So if you need to turn your flash, just pull over to the side. Wait till it passes. It'll pass over. Come on.
Guilty.
Come on.
I'm guilty.
You're Cole Bryson, man. You're like out in the woods hunting deer and fishing and stuff. You can't.
Out there.
Well, that's true. But you know what's harder to see? It's harder to see flashing lights than it is the solid light in the rain. I'm just saying. And people who panic driving in the rain already go, oh my God, there must be an accident or something. And then they slow down when they shouldn't, and it causes 85. Other problems.
85. Yeah. The answer is 85. All right. Because we've had several requests, because I'm hosting this morning, as I said during the first hour of the program.
Nope.
I do host the Saturday Scramble, where it's a high school football program for 2 hours, but we have a lot of high school football interest in the upstate. We'll talk a good bit of high school football this morning, believe it or not. I've already had several messages come in on the stream, where you can find us as well, the Fan Upstate Facebook page, where not only can you listen to us, but you can have the pleasure of watching. I hate that for all of you, but
it's amazing because you get to see me. My hair is it's I've got the rain look today, so it just poofs out a little bit. So don't be jealous, but watch anyway. Do you remember where we first met?
You and I?
Yes.
Oh, we're going. I didn't know we were getting romantic.
Yeah, we are. Do you remember? Because I don't know if you do. Because we have because we have a mutual friend who asked you to call into a certain show.
Was it an in-person meeting?
No, it was a high school show, a high school scoreboard show that you called in on, and it was pretty cool because we didn't want to do that show. And you knew a lot about high school, and I'm just like, man, this dude knows a lot.
I don't remember that.
Yes.
How long ago?
Our mutual friend Patrick Brown had you call into the Friday night rap.
No kidding.
Yes. You don't remember.
No.
I do. Because you.
So Patrick hosted the show.
He
produced it.
He was. I don't think he was even on that show, but he said he knew someone who was
on the
going
show?
into high school. That would be me, Matt Tomlinson, and Zach Adams.
So you were on. I do remember you being on it.
Yeah, well, I did it for 5 years, so it's that memorable.
Is that like 2013, 2012?
Dude, I don't know. I'm just glad it's over because I'm not. I was told I had to do that show. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up around here. Now I've lived here half my life, but still, I didn't grow up around here. But what I was going to say is that's where we first met. You called in. But you've been on so many shows that you probably just don't remember, and I'm not that memorable. But I hadn't come into my own yet. So and I use a different voice then. Yeah, that's what it was. But I miss high school a little bit was what I was going to say, because during that time I had to follow high school a lot closer. I also did a Burns coaches show. So I was doing that and got to go out to a bunch of high school games, and I miss going to high school games. But I'll be asleep tonight when football's going on.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Obviously there's a lot of interest for it around here.
And there should be right now. I'm curious about rules changes that we haven't talked about on the Rob Brown Show, as far as how many regional teams make it into the playoffs now.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
Okay, I'm
that's a good
telling you some high school stuff and telling everybody else that
how many region teams make it.
That we're going to.
That's Lonzo's question. Yeah. James on the stream says, "Will Riverside win the region?" And we'll get to these questions. We'll get to tonight's games. Feel free to fire away. Text line.
Riverside, they have that like thing in the end zone, right? Or like beyond the end zone. Am I thinking of the right team? There's one team that like has like a statue like after the goalpost. For some reason, I think it was Riverside because I always wondered why no one got hurt.
Maybe it is. I hadn't been there in a few years.
Yeah.
They have a good coach, but to answer your question, James, on will Riverside win the region? They're 2-1 in region play. So right now, Greer is
actually, I think it was West Side. Now that I think about it, it might have been West Side.
Might have been. Oh, it could have been. In that region, James. Right now, Riverside has one region loss. Greer does not. Greer is undefeated in region play. So to answer your question, will Riverside win the region? I think Greer will win the region. Obviously, I could be wrong there, but Greer, let's see, is 2-0 in region play. Lawrence is 2-1. Riverside 2-1, and Eastside and Wade Hampton in that region are both 0-2. So to answer your question, I would probably say Greer. And then real quickly before we get to Lonzo's question, Steven on the stream says, Dorman gonna whoop Gaffney tonight. And he says, Cole, I can believe. Don't break my spirit. I love it. Love the spirit there, Steven. Then he comes back and says, do you think Dorman has a chance tonight for the upset? Steven, I don't know if you went to Dorman or not, or if you're a Dorman guy, but I'll tell you this, what Dorman has going for them is they have been playing phenomenal football as of late, right? It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And you know what? Dorman has come, they found something lately. They have, they've been able to put a better offensive product on the field. They're playing a lot better on defense as well. Obviously, first-year coach and Jake Morris, so it takes time. But to answer your question, does Dorman have a chance tonight? Of course they have a chance. It's a region game in Region 2-5A, the toughest region in the state. Anything can happen in that region. Again, Gaffney's got to show up. Gaffney did not have the best game offensively last week. If they are better offensively tonight, like they were against maybe Fort Dorchester or Spartanburg, I would expect Gaffney to be the favorite tonight. However, like I said, Dorman's playing great, and you said it, Stephen. Their quarterback, Bryce O'Neal, he's playing a lot better. He is a junior. He's been given the reins, if you will. They were going back and forth for a little while, or the Cavaliers. So that one should be a good one. We'll get to a full list of the games tonight coming up a little bit in just a few minutes, rather. And then on the text line 71307, where you can get your high school football thoughts in. If Boiling Springs, from the 443, by the way, if Boiling Springs, Spartanburg, Dorman, Gaffney, and Burns, the whole region, do they all win a playoff, in your opinion, if they all make the playoffs? So the way it works, and this will kind of answer Lonzo's question, but in Region 2, 5A, 4 of those 5 teams, it's a 5-team region, 4 of those 5 teams will make the playoffs, 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds. However, there is an upstate at large bid that they decide on a 5 seed between 3 regions. Well, the other 2 regions, the 5 seed is winless. So everyone assumes, like they did last year, that Boiling Springs or Spartanburg, whoever finishes 5th, will get that at large bid. And if that's the case, to answer your question, texter from the 443, yeah, it's the best region in the state. And those teams have a very good chance of winning a playoff game. I would say the top 4 probably do have a good chance, especially the top 3 probably all win a playoff game, and possibly the top 4. Possibly it would surprise me, but maybe all 5 do. That would be really incredible. There'd have to be some upsets, obviously, if all 5 were to win in the first round. But it is the toughest region we have. It's the toughest region we cover. As you said, it makes up Boiling Springs, Spartanburg, Dorman, Gaffney, and Burns. And, when you play against that competition, it's the SEC West of high school football. It makes you better. And then we usually see that come to fruition in the playoffs. So, again, we'll get to a list of tonight's games as well. But, Lonzo, to answer your question, you asked the question, a very good question that I've had other people ask about this year as well. When it comes to region games for these high school football teams, you asked how many teams get into the playoffs, correct? Is that what you asked from each region?
Yeah, I think you kind of answered that.
I did. However, here's the difference. Throughout each classification, right, 1A through 5A, each region is a different size, okay? So, for example, Lonzo, Region 2, 5A, they have 5 teams. If you look at a region in 2A or 3A, they may have 7 teams. So in the scenario of Region 2, 5A, 4 of those 5 make the playoffs. Obviously, if it's a bigger region, you have a better chance to make the postseason, make the playoffs, if you will. But there will be an at-large bid for that 5 seed in the upstate. And there's a very good chance the 5 seed from Region 2, 5A will get it, whether it's Spartanburg or Boiling Springs. And those 2 teams play tonight. The winner will get the 4 seed. The loser will probably drop to the 5. And speaking of tonight's games, there are a lot of good games going on in the area tonight across the upstate. I
don't know, Cole. It's raining. Well,
don't even give me
yeah, it's raining. So I mean, I know it's football, but it's raining, and they have not announced moving any games.
There were 4
I
or
do
5 last night.
Were there?
Yeah.
So they already did move games. Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Because it rained. Now, before we're going to get to the night schedule, I promise. But Lonzo, here's my question to you. And there were last night Southside Christian versus Ware Shoals, Easley Westside, Landrum Liberty, Anderson Christian, Dixie, and McCormick at Calhoun Falls. My question, what I think about, and I could be dead wrong here, but somebody mentioned this to me earlier in the week, Lonzo. Do the games being moved to Thursday have anything at all to do with gate money?
That's always the excuse, but I think that's a lame excuse because fans of teams are going to show up even if it's raining. They do that.
I would think that more show up on a Friday, even if it's raining.
Yeah,
Thursday,
because they don't have to work the next day. Yeah. And I just Yeah.
I don't know that there were at those games that happened last night. I don't know that there were more fans at those games because they moved them to Thursday.
All right. I did hear on the weather there's a chance of maybe thunderstorms tonight. So I think if you move it because there's a chance of thunderstorms, maybe I kind of, but in the end, it's just rain, people.
It's just rain.
It's not soccer. It's not baseball.
Down,
it's stinking football.
The percentages have gone down. By kickoff tonight, we're not even supposed to be. It's supposed to be partly cloudy.
So the rain's doing it this morning. It's going to be out of the way later this evening.
Like it. There may be a few afternoon showers. Is what I'm no meteorologist now, but I'm just telling you what the weather app says. So I think we're in the clear. But
this is a back in my day. I don't care. I know I'm old. This is even back in Cole's day, which wasn't that long ago.
It's just, to me, it's pathetic. Like, what kind of message are you sending when we're saying we can't play football, the toughest sport there is, when it's raining?
You could get deep and say it's a reflection of society today, but we don't need to do that. It really comes down to they say it's about the gate. And if you're a fan who won't show up in the rain, you're soft too.
That's right.
Right. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
All right. Here's what I've done, Lonzo. I do these games before we get to a break. I do these games by classification. That way, people who may be new to the area can understand the classifications a little bit better and who is in what classifications. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break, come back, and we will hit tonight's games for high school football. We'll do a little high school football preview of what's going on in the upstate tonight. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown. Always a pleasure being with you. The one, the only Lonzo. He's back there pushing the buttons, making us sound a lot better than we are. Also on the stream, you can see that illustrious long hair on Facebook at the Fan Upstate. It's the Rob Brownless Show on the Fan Upstate.
Stephen, I apologize. I do. I apologize. Shout out to your daughter.
Don't let soccer catch your strays. My 16-year-old daughter plays.
All right. I'm going to be completely honest here. I have to tinkle. Look at that. Good timing. Just walk back in when I needed to. I'm sure Rob is really hungry right now. I hope Cole gets lost. He won't, but I hope he gets lost because I think that would be funny. I'll just turn the mics on and then I'll go yell down the hall. And you guys can see me do that if he's not. He's got time now, but.
Oh, we're back.
So you guys are lucky that everything was muted because you didn't get to hear Cole singing some country song. As I heard, the door closes slowly. I heard you in here. No. When I went to the restroom, you were in here singing. I heard it.
What was I singing?
I don't know.
Do I have to talk into this for the streamer to hear me?
Not necessarily.
So they can hear me now?
Probably not, but that might be better. I mean, it's
a good idea to talk into the microphone.
Well, if you're a professional,
I'm not.
You can do the thing that other people do, just move the mic everywhere you move yourself, which really bothers me. But, your head moves easier than the microphone. Look at that. Wow.
Over under 10 pounds of food, Rob.
I don't know. He has lost weight, and he's probably going to put a bunch back on, possibly. This could be. Rob Brown Show. What do you want to talk about? Okay. What's your name? All right. Hang on, Lance.
Lance Stevenson?
Yeah. It sounds just like him.
Does it?
No, it does not.
We have a caller?
Yes, we do.
What do you want to talk about? Probably not high school because that's how it works.
You said Carolina football.
Of course. It never works.
Well, you're an expert at that, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just a, guy over here pushing buttons.
That's all. That's what it says in your door. Guy that pushes buttons. It is the Rob Brown-less show, as I like to call it. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown this morning. Pleasure being with you. The one, the only, the illustrious Lonzo is in the house. You can see him on the stream. If you want to just see somebody beautiful this morning, just turn on the stream and bam, there he is right there in his full glory. We appreciate Lonzo being here.
Yeah, if you want to know what Trevor Lawrence's hair will look like when he's in his 50s.
Oh, wow. That's shots
there we go.
fired.
Yeah. No. I mean, he'll get there eventually.
You think he'll curl up like yours?
If it's raining, yeah.
Oh, only when it rains. Only when it rains.
Yeah,
right.
I'm only happy when it rains.
We're going.
You won't get that though, because you're a country guy.
It's a song.
Yes,
or a movie.
It was a song lyric. Yes.
Well, maybe one day I'll get it. Maybe one day. We're going to get to the high school football slate tonight across the upstate. A lot of good games, a couple of texts as well on the text line, 71307. Start your message with fan, as well as on the stream. We're live on Facebook at the Fan Upstate. That's where you can find the stream. And speaking of the phones.
And YouTube.
And YouTube and Twitch.
And Twitch and the X.
Else.
Yeah, we're
anywhere you
there.
Can watch something, we're on it, by gosh. We're on it. And the last way, you can call in to the program. 844 fan phone. Speaking of the phones, let's go to the phones where we do have a caller standing by. It's Lance. Lance, where are you calling from this morning? God. Oh, that's smart. Lance, have you had your coffee yet this morning? Well, I guess that counts.
Bring Coach Boom back? Really?
Well, now not Boom, but now your guy Urban Meyer.
Okay, because when I think somebody else, and no,
yeah.
But bringing Urban.
Who's that? Urban Meyer?
Absolutely, and the bars at 5 points. You probably would enjoy those too. By the way, I'm wearing an Ohio State shirt.
He's too classy
so I know.
Points.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't drink, so I've never been there. But Urban Meyer doesn't lose in college football. That's what he does. So if you can get him, that would be awesome. The problem with South Carolina right now is they need a new defensive coordinator, I guess.
Well, Lance, your spectrum is quite wide, if you will. You said you can see a winning out and going 9-4 with a bowl win. That Coke Zero hadn't kicked in there yet.
Put your Clemson aside, Cole, in your laughter.
So you believe that's true?
It's a possibility.
You believe it's a possibility, legit
possibility. I absolutely believe it's a possibility because it's college football.
Insane.
Because that offense is that good. They're good.
Insane.
That offense is good enough to beat any of those teams in front of them. That defense is not good enough to beat any of them.
They're going to go from 2-4 to 9-4.
It's a possibility.
No, there's no way. No shot. Seven in a row. Lance, we appreciate it. Wow. That is that's bold, Cotton. That is bold. I don't know. The spectrum there was really, I can see us going 9-4.
So that's the thing. That's what fandom is about.
Do Carolina fans have any sense?
Will Clemson win the rest of their games? I mean, I hate to do that, but I mean, okay, very realistic. Is that the fan in you, or is that the guy that's on the radio saying that?
Both.
Okay, because we're out in the woods in a tree stand. It would have to be pretty low for me to be able to climb up there. But if we're out there, and we're just talking football. You wouldn't say Clemson going to win all of them, man.
Absolutely not.
You would not do that.
I'm realistic.
Your cheeks are like turning red when you're saying.
I think that call really. I mean, that was.
Well, you think it was a plant? You think you knew Lance or something, and that he was.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so, unless you do. Do you? Because you're smiling now. You know something I don't know, Lonzo?
Probably quite a bit, but but just it's all useless pop culture knowledge, but still.
Yeah. Back to the call. No, listen. 9-4 is a stretch.
Yeah, but you need that, Cole. You need that.
9-4.
Yeah, you talked about.
Oh yeah,
you talked about that earlier. You need that.
Oh, by the way, I need that. I forgot about that.
How could you forget about that?
Yeah. You know what? That's a good one. That is good. Lance, you're right. Dadgummit. They're going 9-4. I need that. If you listen to our earlier segment, I did have South Carolina over 6.5. So on the text line, Lance is going to get punched in the face by Rob. He must be drinking Jack and Coke on his drive to Columbia, Missouri.
By Rob. Why?
I don't know.
So why would Rob do that? Rob's not a Carolina or Clemson fan. So I mean,
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right.
Wait. Rob says he's a fan of all the teams because when they do well, he does well. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to pretend like that. I want the Gamecocks to do as well as Lance said they would.
That was funny.
Absolutely.
That was funny.
I didn't find it funny. I felt uplifted. I feel optimistic now. I feel like even though it's raining outside, I feel like the sun's shining on me right now. Thank you, Lance.
So you feel better because of that call?
I do.
Just
and
because you're a Carolina fan or what?
Well, I mean, that's part of it. No, and put that aside. The optimism. Yeah. I mean, and I am a glass half full guy. I'm not despite my voice may sound like I'm not the happy guy, but I'm wide awake and Cole is still yawning. So, I mean, true. I try to look at life in an optimistic way, just like Lance does, And, well, you're not rooted in reality. Whatever, dude.
Oh, that's why Rob's going to punch him.
Why? Why would that be?
The texter says his last saying. What's he say before he signs off the air?
Oh, yeah. Don't drink and drive, or I'll punch you in the face. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I read more into it than its simplistic form. I apologize.
See, you weren't talking about being awake. Were you really though, Lonzo? Were you really awake on that?
Oh, this is an entire dream right now. I don't know if it's a good dream or a bad dream. Yes. You
like that?
Yes, I do. There's so many ways I could have went with that, but I refrained.
That's terrible. That is terrible. To put a bow on that, Lance.
Feel me? For real. Do you feel him, sir? I
do. To put a bow on that, to answer your questions and your thoughts and what may be a problem, Lance. I don't see him going 9-4. I also don't see him losing out. Lonzo said earlier as we were going down the schedule, looking at my bet if it was going to hit or not. I don't think they beat Missouri. I'm sorry. At A&M, do I have confidence? Should they beat A&M? Yeah. Do I have confidence that they'll go on the road and beat them? I've got to see them close out somebody first. They haven't closed anybody out this season. If they could pull it off against Missouri, maybe I would have more confidence. Maybe I would have more faith that they can close this one out. Like I said, I haven't seen that. So sometimes you have to see it to believe it, right? And that's the case with South Carolina. They haven't won a big game yet. And
listen, Thomas, you got to believe, man. That's what you got to do.
However, I will say this: last year they proved that they can win them. But the problem is, Lonzo, this is not last year's team. This is a different team, not as good as a team from what I believe we've seen so far.
Overall, not as good of a team. I think a better offense, but still.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Running back. You're starting
to find a running game. Yes,
you're starting to find a running game. I do think you had a really good back last year. Obviously, he's playing in Florida now in Tallahassee, but overall, I do believe that it's going to be. Jacob said it earlier on the stream. When they play Clemson, they could be looking realistically for their 4th or 5th win. Most likely 5th, you would think, but I do think that. You know, when you look at this thing as a big picture, right, and you step back and you think of, obviously you play in the SEC, you know it's going to be a challenge, you know you're not going to win them all, but what can you be happy with from a South Carolina standpoint, from a South Carolina point of view? What can you be pleased with? I do feel like from my South Carolina friends that I know and I talk to every day, I feel like they knew the games they were going to lose. And they knew the games they were going to win. And I feel like from what I've been told and what I've heard, last week was kind of that gut punch, if you will, of, man, there's no way this season can be. Now, granted, if they were to beat Clemson, South Carolina fans will be happy. But it seems as if the loss to Florida in the fashion that they lost it, blowing a 10-point lead, it seems as if that might have been, the gut punch.
What if the final game of the season is for bowl eligibility between the two teams, and it would be like it was 20 years ago. Exactly.
Gets a Outback Bowl bid.
Yeah.
Oh, what an excitement! 12 o'clock kick. Go ahead and call it. 12 o'clock kick.
By the way, I still don't understand people. Well, I do understand people who don't like 12 o'clock kicks are people who are drunken sots. That's what they are.
So?
Yeah, drunken sots. Yes, I believe that's a scientific term.
You calling me a drunk?
Not today, because I wouldn't allow you on the air.
I don't think that's necessarily true, because I, as a fan, I'll tell you this: if I'm going to the game or having a watch party, I don't want it 12 o'clock, 3:30 maybe, but obviously ideal would be night game, right? You can eat 5, 6, whatever, and the game comes on at 7:30. Now, you may be 90% right on that. You could be. And more time to lube it up, if you will. But
yeah, and those people who complain, they're still getting drunk anyway.
Right.
They are. And I don't know how much of the game they actually see anyway.
What game?
Yeah, exactly.
We
just came here to tailgate. I ain't going in the game. I ain't got no tickets.
Now, not everybody in Clemson talks like that, Lonzo. You know that. Not everybody. Some people, not everybody.
No, I did not use the Pickens accent because it would be very deep and hard to understand.
Lonzo, shots fired. All right, we're going to take a break, come back. We've been telling you we're going to get to it, but we are going to get to it. There is a lot of good games going on in the area tonight. High school football, we'll give you that slate of games next. It's the Rob Brownless Show. Cole Bryson filling in today. The one, the only Lonzo in the building as well. We're up next, high school football, little high school football chat. You can get your thoughts in. Again, we're going to get to the slate of games tonight on the other side right here on the Fan Upstate.
Sorry, I mean, Rob will turn his mic on, but he forgets to turn it off sometimes. So that's why, and I hope he's listening right now and watching because, turn your mic off, dude. But but it's the position of the laptop. He does the same thing. Yep. So what time is your guest coming in again? You said 8?
I told him to be here like 8:10.
Okay, all right.
And then I said, hey, we'll get you on whatever. You know what I love? I love
being here in a room with me. Yeah. Yeah.
I love playing. And this is pull the curtain back time for the people listening on the screen. I love planning enough topics for every segment and then being able to push 3 or 4 of them back just to have them as extra shells in the chamber, if you will. That way you can always
I think that's how radio should be. You should be able to be fluid, to be able to, if the wind shifts a certain way, go with it and not go, nope, we're sticking to this. Is what we're doing. It's right. Right. All right, let's go. I'm pointing, by the way. Look down. You can move that table back some. Yeah. Move it. The table's on wheels, so move it back towards the door. You can't fit back there.
No, I'm with you. I just didn't want to transition from that call. It's funny call people text about it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't playing. I don't think I knew who that was. I don't think.
It could be dead serious. I mean, that's fine.
Could be. Did he sound serious to you? And at times he did.
We are still new to the morning, so we're starting to get new callers. Yeah. So, as well as new people on the stream, new people on the text line. So, if he calls more than once, then I should be able to figure it out. Maybe. I don't know. I hope he does. I hope he calls every day. Even when we're not here. I don't recall ever talking to anyone named Lance. So, yes. But I have been screening calls for 26 years. 26 and a half. Hello. What would you like to talk about? It's a technical term. I mean, you've only been on the talent side, so you wouldn't know about us.
I used to produce my own Saturday before we got big time and got bought out by Ingles.
You did produce that yourself. You didn't come in here and run the board. Don't. That's different. Running the Comrex is not running the board. Running the Comrex. Most people, especially a few years ago, had to set up their own Comrex. Rob sets up his own Comrex usually. It's good that we have a little bit of a promotions department again, and they take care of it for you. And Will and Corey and those guys, they do a good job.
Corey's been here a long time. See, I hadn't seen Corey since probably 2019.
Yeah, he's setting up the stuff for Mark Ryan when Mark Ryan's live. And I've seen him a couple of times when we are at Twin Peaks. I've seen him over there. Plus, they do more than one station. They're doing all the other stations, too. We have 7 stations here. In case you didn't know, we have 7 stations here. I'm also talking to the people on the stream, so. I don't think I could do that. There's a clock right here, by the way.
I know, I'll watch it.
Okay, all right.
I like watching the second.
Going, man. I got 2 hours and 21 minutes left with this guy, then I'm out of here. Why did I say yes?
For people with ADHD, I like having that over there.
So tomorrow, if I didn't have a show, I'd have a full day of football. But no, man, I love my show. It's the only place where I get to completely be me.
No.
So yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to me here. But I have some restraints because I can't be as silly as I normally am.
Who's that?
Because I'm not the host. I'm the host over there. I can be as silly as I want and tell other people to just stop. Oh, I am. I'm not. I am. This is one of the top 3 or 4 shows that I've ever been on. The other ones that are tops are all mine. So, I mean, as far as shows that I've produced, that I've had the most fun on, that I really love the host and everything and have a good rapport with, would be this show and the Vince Coakley show.
Who?
Vince Coakley show. Yeah, he used to be on Word. He's no longer on Word.
You tell me you don't like this show as much as you like
No, I don't. I like this show more than that show. Yes.
That wasn't what I was gonna say.
This is even though I was here at the beginning, this is my favorite show that I've done on this station.
What was the name of that show? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I love Greg and everything. We got all that started, but I had restraints. He had a look. He would give me the look and tell me that's enough. Yeah, he would give me that look, and it's usually when I was going off about Clemson. He'd give me that look like, okay, you've met your quota. Stop. And I recognize the look and would say one more thing, and then I'd stop because,
You and him started that show by yourself, or was the other person, the 2-letter name, involved from the beginning?
I think he was I think he was in there in the beginning.
Was he really?
Yeah. I wasn't there I was like there for the first hour when we first started because of when it moved back, it was me all the time.
What do you mean moved back?
It was like way in the afternoon. It was
3 to 7, 3 to 6.
Yeah. But I was still working in the day too.
It is the Rob Brown Show. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown. I got distracted. Sorry. I found the button over here. I don't know what it does, but.
What, on your headphones?
Yeah.
It does. Are those like gamer headphones? You probably
don't know.
don't even know what a game is, but yeah. I mean.
They came from the old Wally world, so,
Whatever.
They're not the. They're not the most, they're not your headphones. Those over there, I mean, the ones you're wearing are high tech.
Lonzo is a superstar.
I love that, by the way.
So do I.
I
I love it because it bothers people.
Who said that?
Dari Noka, I believe it was.
Can you tell me who that is? Do you mind?
He was, he's on ESPN, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a big time announcer. And he was talking about me.
Lonzo is a superstar.
It almost sounds like fake. His voice.
No, his voice is like that. Yeah, he does games. He does Sports Center. He does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Wow. How much did you have to pay to get that written out?
Come on. I think we can figure out that that I don't have to pay for that stuff anyway.
All right. Anyways, we've been saying we're going to do it. We're going to get to tonight's games in the upstate. Real quick, we're talking about the last time we were talking about high school football, the games being moved. A couple of texts came in, Lonzo, and one of them.
Oh, is it derogatory towards me?
No.
Oh, I was hoping.
The 441 says the games are moved to save the fields. They can't reside like college and NFL, especially small school. I get that.
By the way, that makes more sense than the gate.
It does, and the other text says the same thing.
But at the same time, I mean, at
the same time, last night Liberty Landrum was moved. Liberty has turf.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow. Wow. All right. That just ruined that for those people who thought that was it.
That probably for the grass fields, that probably is true. You know what? It's a good point. All right.
Do they resod farmland because I mean, do they not let the cows out and stuff because of rain and because they don't want to tear up the sod?
You mean they let the cows on the football field?
Well, in Pickens, yeah.
Pickens. Tonight's games, Lonzo. as I present them to you, we're going to do this a little bit different because this is Cole and Lonzo. I'm filling in for Rob Brown. We do it, certain ways on the Saturday Scramble as well, which you can hear tomorrow 8 to 10 with me and Alex Guest. But Lonzo,
star of the show, Alex Guest.
100%. Feel free at any point to put the brakes on, if you will. Stop the train.
Do you feel like you hit that a little bit harder than you expected to? I mean,
I think the reverb was what got
it. It's the vibration from that spring on that.
So feel free at any point to put the brakes on. Obviously, you can get your thoughts in the text 71307. Start your message with fan on the stream as well, as many of you have done so. Real quick on the stream, Brad says Lance gave the entire state hope. Kind of what Lonzo said. He agrees. All right, tonight in the upstate, starting in 1A. The slate of high school football games going on tonight. We'll talk about them, but here are the games happening across the upstate tonight. In 1A, we have St. Joseph's at Christ Church. That game right here in Greenville should be a good one. That's a big region game over in 1A. Southside Christian at Ware Shoals was last night. Abbeville tonight in 2A is at Blacksburg. Abbeville, everybody knows how good they are. That one shouldn't be much of a competition. In 2A, also in 2A, Chesney at 96 tonight. That one, mark that one down. Circle that one on your slate of games, if you will. That one should be interesting. Chesney 96 in 2A. Do you know where 96 is, Lonzo?
Yes, I've been to 96.
Have you really?
Why are you looking at that? Forget
how many people have been to 96?
So you forget where I live.
Besides the 19 that live there.
I've been to 96. I've been to Greenwood. I've been all out in that. Been to Woodruff. I've been to
96 is a lot more remote.
I've been to Hodges. Yeah. I'm just saying it's over in that. Yes, I've been to 96 before. I probably have sang in 96 because we sang over in that area a bunch. Been to Iva. I mean, yeah. So
I've been there.
You've never been to Iva?
I've been there.
Okay. Well, you don't want to go to Iva.
All right.
Anyway.
Chesney at 96 tonight in 2A. That's a big region game. Chesney, to me, here's the deal with that game. 96 is a one-loss team. They are a completely different football team identity-wise than Chesney is. Chesney likes to spread it out. They have some guys on the outside that can really push the ball down the field. 96, rather, they like to line it up, and they like to run it right at you. They threw the ball, they usually throw it anywhere from 1 to 4 times a game, do the Wildcats of 96. And they've had an incredible season. Like I said, only one loss on the season. Matthew Bennett has done an incredible job over there in his first year as head coach. That one tonight should be a lot of fun. Chesney at 96. I think, and by the way, you can see my picks on thefanupstate.com and all the games tonight. I think Chesney's speed on the outside and their quarterback play with Proctor. I believe Chesney edges out 96 tonight. That one should be a really good one, though, in 2A. Last night, Landrum, they fell to Liberty. That was one of the games that got moved over at Liberty. Landrum came up on the short end, and Liberty won 40-33. Landrum gave up 2 late touchdowns, including one after failing to recover an onside kick. So a very important region matchup last night for Landrum Liberty. Liberty comes out on top. We transition to 3A, Lonzo, which is probably the most, probably one of the most interesting classifications in high school football this year. It is definitely stacked. The 3A playoffs are going to be a lot of fun. Tonight in 3A in the upstate, we have West Oak at Crescent, Daniel at Pendleton. Circle that one. That would probably be the one in 3A that should be a really good game. Pendleton's phenomenal. Everybody knows Daniel's really good as well. So Daniel at Pendleton tonight should be a lot of fun. Walhalla at Seneca, Belton Honeypath at Southside. That one will not be close. Palmetto at Fountain Inn. Wren is at Powdersville tonight in 3A. Chapman at Blue Ridge, talking about games that won't be close. That one won't be. Carolina at Broome. That one won't be close either. Chester Clinton is also the other game in 3A. It'll be a lot of fun. 2 really good teams going at it. And then finally in 3A, Emerald at Union County is the final game in 3A in the upstate tonight. In 4A, last night, Easley and Westside played. I do not have a final on that one yet. I'll get that for you, though. Pickens at Berea tonight. Greenville at Greenwood, a really big game And that region over in 4A, that one should be a lot of fun. Greenville and Greenwood. Greenwood, I believe, is going to have a size advantage. Greenville, I saw them once this year. They are they're not as big up front as they used to be. They're not a bad team. They've kind of underachieved, in my opinion, if you will, this season. It should be a heck of a game, but for some reason, I feel like Greenwood has the edge. Lawrence at Eastside tonight. Greer is at Wade Hampton. We had a question about Greer coming on the text line earlier. Greer should have another region win tonight, their third of the season. They can knock off Wade Hampton. In 5A, finally, we're getting to 5A. Hillcrest is at Malden tonight. J.O.Man Patriots, who have had an incredible season, they are off tonight. They're on their bye, as well as the Burns Rebels. They're on their bye tonight, so no Burns game right here on the Fan. Lonzo will be singing a cappella for 3 hours to replace that coverage right here on the Fan Upstate. You can hear that from 7 to 10.
Send in your requests.
That should be a dandy tonight right here on the Fan Upstate, all kidding aside. Didn't know Lonzo could sing until 5 minutes ago. Also in 5A tonight, Woodmont at TL Hanna. That one should be a good game for the first few quarters, and I think TL Hanna will pull away late. The last two really big games in Region 2 5A. Spartanburg at Bowling Springs, the winner looking to get the 4th seed in that region, and the loser will probably get the at-large, most likely with that 5th seed in Region 2 5A. And the last game of the night is a big one, Gaffney at Dorman, a huge region game, a much-improved Dorman team from just a few weeks ago. They found their identity on offense. They're playing really well. A really good Gaffney team who had a good win over Bowling Springs last week, who's also much improved. Their offense wasn't clicking on all cylinders like it usually is. However, their defense last week was phenomenal against Bowling Springs. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your slate of high school games going on in the Upstate tonight.
I have another high school question.
Okay.
With the advent of wonderful new technology going on in the world every day, every second, why do sideline reporter mics not work correctly every single week?
That's a great question. You know, this year I'm doing a little sideline reporting myself for another team, and you're right. I think it has a lot to do with the stadium, number one, the layout. And you're more of a producer, technical guy than I am, so you can answer this question probably better than I can. But I believe the interference and distance probably has more to do with it. For example, if you're at a small
but
school,
those are designed for that. And you get a lot of complaints about, why is the sideline reporter? It's not. I mean, they're the same distance every time. There might be a little bit more. It might be a little bit higher depending on.
It can vary. Like tonight, Gaffney at Dorman. I believe you've been to Dorman.
The College of Dorman, yes.
Yeah,
I've visited Dorman many times. Wonderful press box, yeah.
To the field, that's a good, it's not as much
and
as college.
that's a natural bowl down in there too.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know how that would affect.
What do you think? I mean,
I am making fun of the fact that they cannot perfect a sideline.
Does it do that at college broadcast?
No, I don't think it does. So I guess they can. It's just at the high school level that they can't seem to get that under control. And I suppose if you pay a lot of money, maybe you can find one. But I think it
is a good point, though. I've never.
Yeah. You listen to any high school broadcast, you're going to hear some problems with the sideline reporter mic. No matter how big the company, how small the station, or how big the station, there always seems to be a problem on the high school level. And I was just curious if you knew, having done sidelines.
Yeah, I think it's user error.
Well,
just say it.
Maybe
Just
there's an on switch and an off switch, and and you got to wear that. Do you wear the belt pack? Do you have that going on? So you got to also turn that thing on too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe it is just operator error. I don't know.
You never know.
That has never happened to you though, right?
Once out of a million times.
Okay, when you first got out of school and you're a little bit nervous, and it happens to everybody.
Sure. I'm nervous now, just sitting in front of you.
You should be.
You can't tell. Rob Brown not in this morning. He will be back on Monday. Cole Bryson filling in. Glad to be with you this morning in the 7 a.m. club. We do appreciate you being with us, whether you're listening old-fashioned radio or on the many ways you can find us online on Twitch, YouTube, and on the Fan Upstate Facebook page where we have our streamers. You can get your thoughts in there, as well as a text line always open, 71307. Just start your message with FAN, F-A-N, and we'll see it at the top of the list. And now it's time to hear from Lonzo with a 7 a.m. Sports Flash.
Yay. It's me. It's Ernest T. Tomorrow night at 8, the 4-2 Clemson Tigers head to Miami to play the Hurricanes in a primetime Saturday night game that 2 years ago would have been shown on a primetime channel. Instead, the non-bandwagon fans will have to search their local listings for the ACC network.
Dabo.
Yeah, thanks, Dabo. Exactly. It's a big weekend of top 25 matchups in college football, highlighted by 7th-ranked Penn State at 3rd-ranked Ohio State, 17th-ranked Tennessee at 11th-ranked Alabama, and 16th-ranked Duke at 4th-ranked Florida State. Man, that sounds weird just saying that. Hear wall-to-wall NFL football every Sunday right here on your home for the National Football League in the Upstate, the Fan Upstate. 2 more big hours of the Rob Brown Show with Cole Bryson coming up. La, 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 la. I will speak for Cole. He absolutely will be going to a high school football game tonight. I believe he said Dorman Gaffney, I think is what he said.
It's the last blast of summer sale for the Upstate Golf Cart. For a limited time, grab yours for just $40 and get access to
Friday. What's that one? Speaking of Friday songs.
Getting down on Friday. I don't know.
Who sings that song?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I'm an old guy, dude. I don't know. My new intake of music is mostly just alternative stuff. So things that you wouldn't listen to. No, I have disdain for old country. That's the opposite of appreciation. No, it's not. Here's the thing. My mom taught me to appreciate all different forms of music. Yeah, I don't know her name. Yeah, let's don't get us flagged. But you know, well, actually, if it's quiet, yeah, well, they can. You'd be surprised. It's more YouTube than it is Facebook. Who, the person singing that?
No, the people who sit in the room and like monitor the music on Facebook. Oh, I like that text to Lonzo's point. Look how often the refs mics. I would argue the refs mics don't work more than the sideline.
Yeah, but that's them not turning it on and then leaving it on when they shouldn't. Then it's yeah.
This is what
Steven wants to know if you're going to Dorman Gaffney tonight.
Yeah, Steven, I'll be there, buddy. How about you? Will you be there? If so, I don't know if we've ever met or not. It would be cool to meet you. I like meeting our audience. Lonzo don't. He don't get out and go to games.
I'm antisocial.
I forgot
They
to
know
answer
that.
his question about Sugar Tit.
He's probably hunted there before.
No, I hadn't hunted there, but I've been. Yes, will you be in the before the game starts, I will, but I'll be on the sideline during the game. I actually will be on the sideline starting about 6:30. So, I'll be down there pretty early. So I'll be on the sideline. Shoot me a message or something on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and I'll be on the field about 6:30, 6:45. Hopefully it's not raining.
Look at you, Steven, rocking out in the hospitality suite.
Oh, he's big time. All right, I'll come
Go down
that.
the hall. You gonna go down the hall?
No, I think the hospitality suite is below.
Is it? Okay.
Where we set up at, I believe it's.
Wonder what the food spread's gonna be like
used
tonight.
to be the Beacon. They used to do the
really?
Beacon. At dormant, yeah. I don't think they do the. I don't know. Steven knows. I don't know if they do the Beacon anymore.
It's been, I don't know, 6 or 7 years since I was going to games and been in there.
Over there.
No, it is.
Nice stadium, pretty nice.
Not as far of a drive for me either, just as it is to some other places. So.
Well, why don't you come to one playoffs? That's what you need to come to.
Well, I only show up for playoffs. If I invited
you wouldn't come anyways.
That's what I do. Yeah, you're probably right. I wouldn't.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
You and me sound this. I can't take you serious anymore. I like that
alarm. Alarm.
What time did your alarm go off this morning? 4 o'clock?
I don't have an alarm. I have an alarm.
Not an alarm?
Yes.
Why do you say it like that?
That's
a joke?
Yeah, that's me making fun of Rob.
Oh, okay.
And just in case he's listening, I wanted him to know.
I'm saying, why does he say it like that?
Because he's from Florida, and apparently,
he says alarm?
Yeah, he says alarm. Yeah, he's
like with the U-O-A-L-O-U-R-M?
Yeah. I think he's secretly from Canada.
Secretly.
Yeah, trying to hide that he's from Canada.
So your alarm goes off every morning now that you do this show at
4:10.
4:10.
Yes. Although this morning
4:10 and not 4?
Because ever since I was a young children,
a young what?
A children. I set things up for the maximum amount of sleep according to what I have to do. I get up and start the air fryer, go to the restroom, come out, put my tater tots in the restroom. I turn well, I do sometimes. I put my tater tots in the air fryer. The shower's turned on, then I come back, take a shower. Tater tots are done. Make me some eggs. And pack my lunch. I have everything. I've been doing this since high school. I'm very. You put up walls, you put up structure, and then you can go nuts inside of them. That's how it is in radio.
And eggs every morning. Or is it different?
Monday through Friday. Yes. Also, I also throw in a half of an English muffin because at my age you got to get a little bit of fiber. So usually wheat or all grain. Okay. But yes, I do.
Wow.
10 tater tots.
10,
which is 110 calories. Yeah, it's 110 calories, 70 calories for the egg, and then 70 calories for the half of a muffin.
You know it. You are
because I'm regimented. I'm a very regimented person.
You are.
But I also am crazy and chaotic. But I know where my walls are here, and I'm not talking about the physical walls. I know where the walls of the show are. And that's. I mean, I think you can live life. You can have structure and chaos at the same time.
How many calories I just
your coffee alone, your fancy coffee this morning.
Cappuccino, actually.
Yes.
How many do you think were in that? That big cup?
Probably 475.
That's a lot.
I'm just guessing.
No sugar though, right? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right, coming up on the program in the 8 o'clock hour, I'll preview what we're going to do next before we get to what we're going to get to now, if you will. Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen will join us coming up in just about 10, 15 minutes on the program. Trey writes locally, and when I host, I like doing a lot, obviously nationally, but a lot locally as well here in the upstate. And Trey covers high school football and other things for the Greer Citizen. So we'll have Trey in studio in about 15 minutes to talk about little high school football as well as all that. What I find fascinating is, and we'll get into this with Trey, writing today, Lonzo, as a news writer, sports writer, it looks so different than what a sports writer looked like 15, 20 years ago, and the way the writing industry has changed. So there's a lot of things I want to ask him because my curiosity, I have a lot of questions.
Because there's a saying that print is dead, and it's not dead all the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Not all the way dead. All right. Before we get into that, though, it's time for Lonzo doesn't have the love romantic, the romantic music queued up because I didn't tell him to. But we're going to get into a little relationship talk with each fan base, right? What I mean by that is we're going – there it is. There it is. See how good he is, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo's quick on his toes.
That's our Zach Wilson music, but it'll work for here.
So
Zach likes the older women.
So I'm a single guy. Lonzo is happily married. Lonzo, I want to know something.
Coming up on 31 years, by the way.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome. At what point in our relationship status are we with Shane Beamer and Dabo Swinney right now when it comes to South Carolina and Clemson? We'll start with Dabo. Obviously, Clemson fans not used to losing 2 games this quick into the season. South Carolina's a totally, completely different story. We'll get to that. But in terms of relationship status, if you will, between the fan base and the coach, we'll start over in your favorite neck of the woods in Clemson, between the Clemson fan base and Dabo. Would you say that we have gotten to the point of changing the status to it's complicated yet with Clemson and Dabo, or is that a little premature?
No, I think it's a little premature. It's the part of the relationship where that spark has been there forever. I mean, you just cannot wait to get home and see that person. And now, it may have went along the wayside a little bit. You might need like some pills to help you out or something.
I was thinking more like therapy sessions.
Yeah, well, maybe some of that too, which both are basically the same.
Pills are called NIL pills.
Yes, that's what they are. And he refuses to take those.
Right.
So it's
TP
still there.
pills.
The flame is still lit. You
think it is?
It's just flickering a little bit here and there. That's just what I think. Yeah.
For the majority of the fan base,
not those bandwagon ones.
2.5% that he doesn't like.
Yeah, those ones who are just there for the championships. Yeah.
So you would say that for the majority, the flame is still lit between the Clemson fan base and between Dabo Swinney. However, Lonzo says it's not quite to its complicated status, but the light is beginning to flicker.
You've had your mouse over that button a couple of times and thought about clicking it's complicated on your social media, but you're like, you know what? I can't do that yet. There's still something there.
So they've got the mouse over the button.
Yes.
Do you think, and we'll stay on Clemson and Dabo for just a second before we transition to Beamer. Do you think that they have a possibility, and I'm a Clemson fan, public, do you think
really? I didn't know that.
Well, just for the listeners out there.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Do you think they have a chance of clicking that it's complicated button this season? Because let me ask you, before you answer that, Lonzo, let's define what it's complicated means in this sense of conversation. It's complicated is not quite hot seat, but it is like the seat is uncomfortable. It's starting to get warm a little bit.
You start remembering your ex.
You start remembering
that Tommy Bowden guy, and you start remembering what you felt, for Tommy at the beginning, and then near the end when things started falling off a little bit, and you're thinking, am I starting to am I having a repeat?
I don't know about the Tommy Bowden ex.
I mean, but I was around some people then who did not want Dabo. They wanted to keep Tommy.
Of course, right.
So that's what I'm talking about. They're loyal, but they also have a memory that, this could be, and you actually got offended when I said Tommy Bowden territory, but I remember that. And I remember people getting mad. We don't need that Dabo and all that kind of stuff. So,
So will the status, in your opinion, be changed from whatever it is now to?
I think it stays where it is because Clemson fans are at a point of introspection.
So you don't think it's
so they thought, that Cade was the answer and DJ was the problem the entire time. And now they're looking inward going, maybe I'm making this relationship complicated. What can I do to make it better? So they haven't realized that, maybe it is the other person. They're thinking maybe it's them a little bit. Maybe they overreacted.
So right now, the It's Complicated button for Clemson fans, they've thought about it, but they're not quite.
Yeah, because in today's age, once you hit that, there's no going back from that.
I love this text from the 567. If we lose to South Carolina again, Lonzo, you want to finish the text?
Oh no, I don't have it up because
click that junk.
Oh, okay.
Click that junk.
Oh, okay. Click that. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, all right. I get it. It took me a second.
If we lose to South Carolina again, click that junk. Says the 567. So we are that close, huh? We're that close to clicking the It's Complicated
To me, I hear a little bit of concern in the texter, like maybe that's a possibility. So,
all right, so you want an opinion from a Clemson fan on that text?
Never, but okay. You're hosting the show.
I agree with that texter. As the music that was perfect transition to. I mean, that was perfect, Lonzo. It's almost like you're DJing back there.
I mean, I'm an award winner over here.
I would agree with the texter from the 567. If Clemson loses to South Carolina again, the It's Complicated button has been pressed. Now, again, does It's Complicated mean that it's time to fire Dabo and clean house? No. You have to keep it in perspective. But the It's Complicated button, absolutely. If they lose to South Carolina 2 in a row, cue it up. I'm with them. I'm with you, 567. Lonzo, do you agree with that text, or is that premature?
I agree with the text, yes, because the relationship between the fans and Dabo will definitely become rocky if they lose to South Carolina again.
It will be rocky.
Last year, there was no question. There was no way South Carolina was going to win.
Yeah, not
this year, I think there's a little bit of doubt in there.
There's no doubt. There's doubt. All right, keep the music going, Lonzo. As another text.
That's what I do. Yeah.
And wouldn't want to fire him either, says the 567. Let's transition now. Let's get on the interstate. Let's go down I-26, if you will, Lonzo. Keep that music rolling.
Or whatever road you got to be on to go to Columbia, Missouri. Who wants to do that?
We're going to go to Columbia and visit with Ray Tanner and Beamer right now. We're not going to do the Missouri trip, but we're going to go down to Columbia as the romantic music continues to play. We're trying to figure out, if you're just tuning in, what the relationship status now is between South Carolina fans and their coach. We talked about with Clemson it being borderline complicated. It's almost time to click that It's Complicated button on the social media and let everybody know that this relationship's complicated. With Beamer, Lonzo, the text line 71307. Start your message with fan. 71307 is the text line. I believe South Carolina fans have already clicked the It's Complicated button this season.
All right, here's the thing. It started out with that button. There was never
what started out.
It was the relationship started out as it's complicated.
You think
so?
Because
It's
I disagree.
It's never met. It's never been pushed in a relationship yet. It was a you're excited and everything, but you don't want to jump the gun and go this is it. I am in a relationship. I think it's been complicated from the beginning, and
not from the fans that I've talked to.
Well, anyway, from the ones that I've talked to.
You think that they've never been completely sold from the beginning is what you're saying?
Here's the thing. So when you've been hurt a lot,
yeah,
and South Carolina fans been hurt a lot.
No doubt.
I mean, the one that took you there to the place you never thought you would be just up and said, I'm done.
Right,
the relationship is over. Right. Without warning, just walked out.
Over text message. You didn't even do it in person.
Yeah, exactly. So you found out online. I mean, so
online.
yeah, and
he left by the way.
And then So your rebound was not,
Must jump.
Yeah, it was
Coach
not.
Bloom.
Yeah, you just no. And now, the new thing comes along. You're like, okay, there's some excitement and everything, but because you've been hurt so many times, you cannot go all in, as they say.
I believe Lonzo.
It's been complicated from the beginning. I would like it to be a relationship. I would like it to be where we're happy, we're excited to be there, but I think it's never been beyond complicated.
I don't know, man. There were so many South Carolina fans that were excited about Beamer's, not only his recruiting, but his ability to capture players from the transfer
Because you know what I heard. This guy's never been a head coach before. Why can't we find somebody else? He's not even our first choice. That's complicated. That's what that is.
But I believe fans bought in quick. I think last year. Let me ask you this: after beating Tennessee,
I don't think you can buy in till the Muschamp people are completely out of the building.
Well, that's not.
It was a bad taste.
Let me say
it
this.
was.
When they beat Tennessee and Clemson last season, after that Clemson win, I don't believe there were any South Carolina fans who were in a complicated relationship with Beamer.
What came before the Tennessee win?
A loss?
Not just a loss, but a beatdown from Florida. Yeah. So, I mean, that's an up and down thing right there. It's not, we got it right now. No, it's like, wow, if we would have played this way the entire season, who knows what could have been. But you come off that loss.
But you don't think him making – but, Lonzo, remember, you win those 2 games against Tennessee and Clemson, and then he makes the transition of Satterfield, the departure, right? And now all of a sudden we have a new offensive coordinator in Darryl Loggins.
Which people, he failed everywhere he's been.
Now they do.
Oh, they were saying it then. That's what I heard. Why can't he find a real – and then some people said that South Carolina was going after Garrett Riley, and it caused a big old stink. But Shane Beamer on this very program said that wasn't true. It's all this. So you didn't hear all the stuff about Darryl Loggins. Oh, he cannot. He's failed at every NFL team he's been. And look at that offense. Shouldn't he be considered having something to do with the offense this year? And if you're Spencer Rattler, you went from probably not being drafted last year to being drafted fairly high this year, probably.
From the 8-5-2, I believe the fans for the Gamecocks were ready to settle down and make babies with Beamer. I wouldn't say complicated would have described the beginning. I'll tell you this, as Trey Stewart is in the building.
Wow, man! Why you want to do that? And they saw you do that on yeah, but he was busy. You couldn't see he was busy. He was over there.
Busy.
It's just the music. The music has got. He can't hear that music, but the music is.
That's right. I believe that. Listen, I believe Lonzo more. I agree more with what the texter said than I do with you. I do believe at times they were ready to settle down and buy dirt, if you will, and build
is
house.
that like a Southern term?
It's not.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
right.
and it's a song. Thank you. And
this must be another one of them country songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think they were ready. I think they were ready to settle down. The texter, I think you hit the nail on the head, texter, from the 582. I believe that they were ready to have babies with Beamer. And he says, I wouldn't say complicated would have described the beginning. Lonzo, I believe that may be you thinking your fandom was, that relationship with Beamer was complicated.
Again, your man, the guy that took you to heights you had never been in many ways, just said, I quit and just walked out. And then you get stuck with some old guy with the glasses on the end of his nose.
Yeah.
And so you've been hurt so bad, you don't come into a relationship going, there it is. You come in complicated already. So that texter's wrong. I'm right.
I don't believe so.
And I'm used to that.
I don't believe so. I believe I side with the people here. You say that you're
I'm the people's champ, man.
You say that you're the voice of reason.
I am.
I don't believe
I'm the voice of the people.
Listen, the bottom line is, in terms of the it's complicated button that has been hit, I believe that it is now for South Carolina fans and Shane Beamer. I do believe that they have switched that status to it's complicated from the 2 and 4 star.
And right? I think, and I know how this sounds, but I think you're coming at it from a Clemson perspective, and you can't put your bias aside.
What about the texter just now?
Yeah, it's a Clemson texter.
Oh, you think he's
a Clemson texter? They troll all the time.
So
that's what they do.
Fan says that it's okay.
Yeah, I would know. I could feel it.
through the text.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. All right, end the romantic music. Enough of that. That is.
Oh no, we riding this train
rest of the
all the
show.
way out to the break.
That is the relationship statuses, if you will, between Shane Beamer and his fan base and Dabo Sweeney and his fan base. So you can get your thoughts in. I side with the texter on this one. I disagree with Lonzo. 71307 is the number. Start your message with fan. We'll go back and talk a little more high school football on the other side with Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen joining us in studio for the next couple of segments. Hope you can join us as well. This is the Rob Brown Les Show. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown right here on the Fan Upstate. Oh, enough of that. What's up, man? How are you? That was
That's Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, engineer.
I didn't, I've seen Chris, but I couldn't.
Chris used to be a producer. Worked for me for a really long time. Had a chance to go to
You
engineering.
work where?
On Word.
Oh, okay.
Was
So this is Lonzo.
he produced?
Lonzo.
I am Lonzo.
Lonzo's been here for like 104 years.
I've been here for 23 and a half years.
So he's been around. He's been around the block, if you will. Have you really?
Oh yeah, dude. I can literally hear Hawkins talk.
Really?
Really?
You need to.
If we had time, I'd take you down and introduce you, but I don't think we'll have time for that. I'm sorry.
They'll take a break at what time? You think? As far as the end of hour break. 8 o'clock.
I don't
8:50?
know what their clocks are.
All the clocks for the stations aren't the same.
The ones for Word and for
Man.
yeah, the ones that are the talk stations are basically the same.
Oh, that's not a talk.
No, it's not. I mean, they talk in the morning, but they do play songs.
So are you from Greenville?
Yeah. I lived in Columbia from 1 to 4. My dad was in law school.
Really?
Since then, I've been here.
And you went to North Greenville, right? I did too.
You did? Yep.
I did too.
What years were you there?
I just graduated in 18?
Really? You don't remember when you graduated?
18.
That's
Well, we would have overlapped you. That was my freshman. Yeah, my freshman year was 2017. Started in the fall.
17 was your freshman year?
Yeah, and that spring I would have been there.
How's he not
No,
know you? I thought
everybody
you were
always
the
thinks I'm
big
older
man
than I
on
am. I hate it.
campus.
What'd you say?
I thought you were a big man on campus.
No, my senior year, I lived off campus. I tried to be off the campus as much as I could. What about hold on, 17. 17 was your freshman year.
Yeah, so 17 to 21.
Keep in mind, it's still in the stream. So, I mean.
I'm not saying anything bad.
No, I know. I'm just letting them know.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're on stream during the commercial, so don't
noticing that, yeah.
don't
And I'm eating because I don't want to eat in front of people.
don't badmouth anybody. So, did you have any? You graduated mass comm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have mass comm classes that early or no?
I had media tech.
With who?
Go ball. My
Yep.
first semester.
I bet I was out of there.
You were.
No, I'm saying I bet I was out. I bet I took that early on too.
Yeah, that's like that freshman year introductory class.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't think I
What's his name retired by the time you?
Marks?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't there when you were there.
Oh no, sorry, he retired while I was there. So he retired my sophomore year.
Did you have him?
Yeah, what was that class called?
Some kind of writing class.
For broadcast media, something like that. We had to write like Curious George commercials and or like scripts and commercials and stuff and things like that. Whatever that class was, I think it was writing for broadcast.
Do you know Patrick Brown? Patrick Brown used to work
I think so.
with Lonzo. Well, WORD or both.
Over here too.
That's right. He went to North Greenville. He was a year older. Is he a year? He's not. He's a couple years older than me, isn't he?
I think he's like 1 year older.
Yeah. So he may be 28, 29. But he graduated. We had
So did Holcomb, but I don't.
No, Holcomb's younger than me. You know
No,
him?
but I don't know what year.
Or is that Timothy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Timothy.
Timothy
Yeah.
graduated. He used to work. He just quit.
Yeah, last week.
He used to be the producer for WORD, for the morning show.
So he was when I was doing the newspaper, whatever website.
Yeah.
Sports editor, he's one of my sports writers.
Yeah. He used to produce my show on Saturdays, or no?
Some.
I thought he
Flag
did.
football team.
Really? So Tim, and then who else North Greenville has worked here? I'm missing a few.
I start forgetting names after a while.
The other Tim didn't go there, did he?
No. He went to Full Sail.
That's right. He did tell me that. And you know what? I think the guy who does my show now went to Full Sail too, did he? Brandon? Or was that is that Tim I'm thinking about?
Yeah, Tim. I don't know where Brandon went.
There's a couple North Greenville people that worked here producing and they do.
And they all do good work. I don't think I've had anyone from North Greenville that's been bad except for maybe Cole.
That's what they always say. Man.
But he's on the talent side, so
Yeah.
talent people, they can't be trusted.
Right. I'm trying to think. I know I'm missing some, Lonzo, but is this mic good? Anything we need to do over here? Yeah,
I don't
it's
remember the
off
other
right
one.
now.
I can move that.
Hold on.
That's cool. All right. You're good.
Sounds good. Okay.
So where'd you go to high school at?
Oh goodness, I was zoned for Eastside, like right off Taylor's. But I went to Hampton Park Christian School, which is like up there near. It's really small. My graduating class is like 24 people.
Really?
Yeah. So it's right up there near Paris Mountain, State Park Road. It's a really, really small Christian school. I'm telling you, like probably 100 kids in the whole high school. But yeah, that's where I went.
You graduated from there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2017.
We were talking about. I think it was after your. Was it? No, you weren't on with us this past Saturday, were you?
I was. Yep.
Alex was talking about. Maybe it was after your interview. He was talking about all the zonings for Greenville, how ridiculous they are. Because he grew up in Greenville, I think, and he's basically saying that one side of the street can be zoned for.
Literally, East Side and Riverside. It's exactly that way. There's like a little dividing line by the streets. It's crazy.
And that's not far from Greer.
No. And this thing, all three of those schools are big schools.
Hey Trey, I'm talking to the stream.
Okay.
Trey, which Tractor Supply did you buy that from? You can't see the screen. Yeah, I'm talking to Trey. Yeah.
Oh, he's talking to another Trey. I was confused too.
Oh, my bad. Trey Davis.
I bought a.
I was like, what?
I know. I was confused too. I was like,
our Christmas special is coming up over there, and I might need to pick up a kazoo for
how'd
that.
that happen? How'd that?
What?
Trey, I missed that. Were you talking about a kazoo?
No, he's just saying it's. Listen, so we get crossover from here on, and also on the Upstate Pulse. So there's some things that go back and forth that you may not catch.
I about read the traffic thing earlier. I don't think that was for us though. The traffic text. Did you see it?
I don't have text line up.
Why?
Because I have like 10 screens and a ton of stuff up. And here's the problem. If I have the text line up, then I want to comment
on everyone.
No, and you can write back to texters. And then I won't pay attention to what's going on the air because I will get in a debate.
Rob said that I think it was he's telling me that you're the one that used to respond. Or I think he still responds sometimes, Rob.
Yeah, he does.
So did you know that this station was in this building?
No, honestly, I did not. Because I kind of assumed you were based out of Spartanburg.
Used to be ESPN Upstate.
30 seconds, by the way. I don't know where you're going. What are you doing? Okay, all right. Yeah, take care of our studio
When
here.
did the ESPN change the fan?
I think that was last year, right?
Last year?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we've been the fan of the year yet. I don't know. I lose track of time. Dude, I don't know. I should know. I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure. All right. You don't need headphones because we're not having any callers or anything, but that's good. We're back with you on the Rob Brown List Show. Rob Brown not in today. Cole Bryson filling in. Glad to be with you this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. 8 o'clock fan club joining us on Twitch, YouTube, and on Facebook. You love that button, don't you? I'm gonna put a petition in to take your button privileges away over there. I know it won't do any good, but you love those sound bites.
They can take my privileges when they pull them from my cold dead hands.
Text from the 585. Forgot to send the text about settling down. I'm not a Clemson fan at all. It's okay to fall in love, Lonzo, and Beamer hurt you. It's okay. You still have. No.
Beamer didn't hurt the South Carolina fans. That would be Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier broke Gamecock fans' hearts in a way that those scars still bleed a little. They still do. They still do. They still do. Well, I know I mentioned Tommy Bowden a little bit earlier, and you got a twinkle. I saw that twinkle.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right. In studio with us is Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen. Trey and I met officially about 5 minutes ago for the first time in person. You know, Twitter is a great place where you can meet people without having to meet them in person. Trey came on the Saturday Scramble a couple of weeks ago and talked about. No, it was last week because Burns and Dorman played. Last Saturday. Burns Dorman played on Friday, and Trey came on to talk about the Burns Dorman game, which you heard right here on the Fan Upstate, which was a really good game. Lonzo's giving me the look. That's the look you told me earlier.
We rarely make eye contact. I'm
that romantic music's still going in your mind, isn't it? That's what it was.
It always plays. That's my theme music. That's why
right.
I had it.
That's right. All right. Trey Stewart with the Greer Citizen. So, Trey, you cover high school football locally. We were talking about earlier from a writing point of view, as he just broke the mic.
He's off to a great
start. Wow.
Off to a flame. Start. He didn't like that flag, so he just took it off. He said, don't need that. All right, tell us about what you do at the Greer Citizen and what the teams you cover, because when someone thinks Greer, they would think you cover Greer only, but you cover more than just Greer, right?
Yeah, so we actually cover 5 different schools at our paper, and Greer itself, Greer High School, is actually covered by my coworker. His name is Leland Birch. He's been covering Greer for, the past 30-something years.
I think I've met him.
Yeah, he's an older gentleman, really nice guy, but he's been doing it for ages now. And so he takes over more of the Greer, the Yellow Jackets aspect of things. But I'll cover a little bit of them, and then I cover Burns, cover Blue Ridge, cover Eastside, and then cover Riverside. And I don't think I'm missing any schools.
Anything over in that Greer area,
pretty much,
you will.
Within that umbrella. That's what we cover.
We had a text come in earlier asking about Eastside and asking about if Eastside had a chance to win the region, as we're talking a little high school football on the Rob Brown Show with Trey Stewart. What's interesting from a Greer standpoint, I know you don't cover them each week, is what is interesting from my point of view is they have the past few years have had a really rough start to start the season. Obviously, the non-region play is tougher than their region schedule for the Greer Yellow Jackets. And we get a lot of text on the station during this show, the Rob Brown Show, as well as All Sides on Mark Ryan's show. They have a lot of people that ask about Greer and, why they're not any good like they used to be. It's interesting, though, that the region that Greer plays in my opinion, is a little bit weaker than the non-conference schedule.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So they do, to answer that texter's question, Trey, I think that right now Greer's the favorite in that region, right?
I would agree. And the thing about their non-region schedule, a few years back, Greer was playing some cakewalk non-region games.
Yeah.
This was probably 2017, 2018, back when the years when they were, going undefeated, making, state title runs, things like that. Their non-region schedule was a cakewalk. And Coach Young heard some feedback about it. So, you want to, schedule some more challenging teams to open the season. So he took that to heart. He definitely did. He has scheduled this season and last year maybe the toughest gauntlet of non-region games.
Yeah,
I've seen. You got tough. Daniel, Hillcrest, Burns, Boiling Springs, West Side. That's their 5 losses this year so far.
But what I think is interesting, and this is not just mainly at a high school standpoint, high school level, from a coach's standpoint, the coach's main job is to win, right?
Absolutely.
So if the coach doesn't win, we all know what happens. And what I've always thought was interesting at the high school level, especially now with region games not meaning anything, which is stupid. I think it's interesting to see how coaches like Will Young at Greer, how they balance having a tough non-region schedule and getting the team ready, for the region. So they're getting prepared for those difficult region games. But at the same time, they know in the back of their mind that we got to win. So in your opinion, do fan bases see those? What was Greer's, I'm putting you on the spot, but Greer's non-region record? It was more losses than wins.
This year was 1-5.
1-5 in non-region.
Yeah.
And now they're 2-0 in region.
So
what matters?
Yeah.
Do fans and people who make decisions, in terms of jobs and keeping coaches in that same position, do they understand that?
people who make decisions, yes, they understand that. I
Yeah.
mean, and Coach Young, I think he's been there since I want to say 04.
Yeah,
So
long
he's on his
time.
19th season.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job with that program, and it's just his prerogative. He schedules these tough non-region games, and
Yeah.
to his credit, it gets Greer ready for region play because
For sure.
you start off with teams like Hillcrest, Daniel Burns, your first 3 weeks of
Yeah,
the
it's
season.
tough.
I mean, it's not going to feel as difficult when you get down to region play and you're facing some of those teams because you're right, it's not the strongest region in the state.
Right.
But yeah, that's his decision, and he's. And honestly, it's paid off because, I mean, they did great in region play last year.
Yeah.
And they beat Riverside, I think, to clinch a share of the title the last week of the season. And they're starting out hot now with a trip to Wade Hampton tonight.
Yeah.
And then if they're able to win that.
Yeah. Real winnable game.
Yeah. Another shot at the region title again when they welcome Riverside on the 27th. So
Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen sitting in with us. We're going to take a break, come back, continue this conversation, as well as Lonzo and I were talking earlier about how writing has changed, from a sports writer standpoint. So we have some questions about that as well. Trey Stewart, we wanted to introduce him to the audience again with the Greer Citizen. You can find his work. The website is
GreerCitizen.com.
I like it. It's pretty simple.
/sports, because that's all.
/sports. That's right. All right. More of this on the other side. Trey Stewart with the Greer Citizen joining us. Lonzo, the one and only, always in the house. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown this morning. Pleasure being with you. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Marcus, did you completely sleep through Friday? I hope you didn't. This is not the Saturday Scramble, buddy, but this is the Rob Brown Show. And guess what? Rob's not hosting. And when I host, I listen to not being, a smart A, but I listen to the people. And
he doesn't talk into the microphone, but he listens to the people.
I listen to the people. We have a lot of people who love high school football. If you could see the text line,
I think bring it down a little.
If you saw the text line and the stream comments, you'd see
those
how
things.
much
The
people
sponges
in the area
inside
love
when
high
they
school
put them
football.
all on, some of them are a
Yes,
little
we're
crimped,
talking a little high
and
school football
that mic
this
isn't
morning
used
on the
very
show.
much. So,
If you don't like it, stay tuned. We're not going to talk high school football the whole.
By the
show.
way, you're
We're
being
gonna do a
too
lot of
defensive.
college
You're
and,
being
pro.
you're being too defensive because Marcus
telling him to stick
Marcus ain't coming at you that way.
No,
He's
I'm just telling
joking.
Marcus, stick around. I just told Marcus, stick around.
Marcus is a regular. We're good.
No,
We're
no,
good.
no.
We're good.
No, you're hearing me wrong. I'm telling Marcus, stick around. 9 o'clock hour, no high school football.
Unless someone calls
Unless
or
someone
texts
calls.
or hits,
Or Trey stays and we do 100, another hour.
Different segments.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate the text. I hope you enjoy it, and if you don't follow high school football, I hope you give it a chance. A lot of people around here do. So appreciate you listening and being a regular,
I don't care.
Did you think I was defensive?
Yeah, I do think you were being defensive.
Me answering a question is not defensive.
Yeah, you look pretty defensive. I'm just
Think my
saying.
face
Yeah.
got red.
Yeah. Well, no, not on that.
Sorry, Marcus. I wouldn't.
He wasn't too defensive. He doesn't have a defensive posture because he's got his legs crossed, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that?
Drank coffee
But
this
still,
morning.
but maybe that's what it is.
That's what it was.
Restrooms right down the hall.
Yeah. Stop.
You know who knows about restrooms?
Who's
Rob Brown right now.
Ooh.
Probably in the
What time is
restroom
this?
right now.
What time's his,
I think his colonoscopy is at 10 a.m. I believe.
10 a.m.
I believe. So he may be back in the room right now and wearing the gown, rocking the gown, of course.
In the hospital room.
Yeah. I'm sure he's rocking the gown. So
Might be asleep soon though. Might put him to sleep. So what game you got tonight?
Oh goodness! So there's 3 tonight. There's Eastside Lawrence, there's Greer Wade Hampton, and there's Blue Ridge Chapman.
All three of those are rough.
None of them are.
Those are rough.
I mean, I shouldn't say it in case anyone could be watching. But
Sorry.
hey, my children went to Lawrence. Don't you dare disparage.
did they really?
Your kids did? Didn't you have somebody that wrestled at Lawrence too?
Yeah, my son.
That's the
He
game
was
I'm going
ranked
to
in the
tonight.
nation at one point for wins.
That's the game I'm going to tonight. Is the Eastside Lawrence game. It's got the most region implication.
I don't really care. They're not there
Shut
anymore.
up.
They're not there
Don't side with
anymore.
Marcus.
I still live in the. I love Marcus. Marcus is awesome. I still live in that county. So I mean,
You drive here to work every?
He lives. How far does it take you? Normal driving speed, Lonzo.
Okay. 25.
Is that it?
It's
He lives
yeah,
in Great.
Great Court. But yeah, it takes
I
me
just feel like
25.
Great Court's so far from Spartanburg, so it feels like it's.
It would take me like a half hour to get to Spartanburg. We're like, if you look at Lawrence County, it comes up to a point, and you got Greenville on one side, Spartanburg on the other.
Yeah.
We live in that point. So it's almost equidistant between the two.
Yeah.
So and there's less traffic in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The thing that
I can't believe you can get here though quicker than I can. That's crazy from
skill.
Great Court.
Where do you live, Spartanburg?
Bowling Springs.
Bowling Springs. Okay.
There's also you
South
have to go
Compton.
85 and I go 385. And so
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about.
oh yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, they've been paving. So there's been dead stop. So luckily I haven't hit that any in the last 2 weeks. So I do one of my favorite things about being back in the morning is not having to deal with traffic.
Yeah.
I still have people who want to race, which is just stupid. It's 4:30 in the morning. Come on, dude. And you don't want to race someone at 4:30 because they've been out all night.
Yeah. Drunk.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
that's
used
what
to
I get
live
for
in-
driving what I drive. You know, things are going to want to do.
Can't hide money.
Yeah.
Had, right?
Yeah, well,
I grew up in Bowling Springs, then moved to Duncan for maybe 2 years.
Where'd you go to high school?
Bowling Springs.
Bowling Springs High School. Were you at that game, Burns and Bowling Springs, the other like 2 weeks ago, the double overtime game?
No, so I'm the sideline reporter for Gaffney.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
This year's the first year I've done that.
Okay.
So I started in 2011. I was doing.
can't do that behind the ropes because Cole is not a wrestling fan, even though he was at WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
What are they talking about wrestling on there?
Yeah, he was in Dallas at WrestleMania, sending me pictures, going, "Hey, do you know this guy?" It's like, hey, you suck.
Who was the guy?
Bobby Lashley. He kept saying he was going to get Bobby Lashley on the air. You remember because you said you got Bobby Lashley's number.
Do you really? Yeah. If you called him right now, what are the odds he pick up?
By the way, we have wrestlers on the show all the time, so
I wish I had a photograph.
yeah, I see that.
I don't think he'd pick up. He'd
Dude.
probably like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, that's cool though.
We'll be having Billy Gunn on next week. You may even know who Billy Gunn is. Yeah, Billy Gunn be on next week.
You're being real? He's really coming on?
Yeah, he's going to be at South Carolina Comic-Con Junior next Sunday.
y'all broadcast
So,
there?
no, I'll be there though.
This us?
It will be in about 15 seconds.
So I started in high school broadcasting in 2011. Bowling Springs, junior year. I was in Bowling Springs for 8 years. I played for Burns on the station for 4 years. Lived in Texas for a year and a half. Came back.
You play on paper burn.
That's the worst ever. That is the worst.
That's what you
ever.
get for not turning the mic on. I mean, you know,
I didn't turn it on.
Good morning.
I think I turned it on myself just now, didn't I?
you did, but it wasn't on yet. You know, I had like 10 seconds to play there. So I'm going to
You
play.
don't like the music?
I love the music. I picked the music.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I like it a lot.
and I can play it online because it's,
'cause that doesn't have
it's
words.
whitelist enabled. No, there's certain music that's copywritten. This is, we have a service.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Thousands of
You
there's
don't get in trouble.
no, if it says whitelist enabled, that means you can play it on YouTube.
Oh.
You know, other
Whitelist enabled.
other shows won't do that, you know, but we'll do that because we care more than those other shows.
Huh. All right. That's
Oh,
interesting.
I don't really care.
That's
No, it's
not
what
what I said. That's not what I
whatever.
said.
That's
That is not
fine.
what I said at all. A couple of messages on the stream and a text about high school football, and as well as wanting Lonzo to talk wrestling, which he has the whole 9 o'clock hour to do so. If he wants to talk,
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You're hosting. I'm just
No,
over here pushing
You're
buttons.
the co-host too. You're the co-host too. And
My name is on the show, but you
that's
know what?
right. And
Whatever.
my name's not. So you actually have
you're-
more power than I do.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter who's on. I have
That's
power.
right. That's right.
You know who I am.
Trey Stewart from the Greer Citizen, still with us here in studio. A couple of segments ago, Lonzo and I were talking. It's interesting. I'm not a writer. Never been good at it. I do have appreciation for people who are.
Never been good at this kind of thing. So
That's
respect you as well.
yeah.
It's mutual respect.
I'm sure you haven't. But you know,
Hey, I suck at both, so whatever.
have you tried writing before? That doesn't count. I don't count that.
So
here's
I wrote the entire sports
Here's what I
flash
think is
today.
interesting, dude. And I was talking about this with a buddy of mine, Brock Hamrick, who I have on the show, on my show a good bit on Saturday mornings. With what you do at the Greer Citizen, do y'all still have deadlines like they used to?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. We publish on Wednesday, so our deadline is. It used to be Tuesday at 2, but
Yeah.
we had trouble meeting that deadline sometimes, so we moved it up a little bit just to make sure we had our stuff in by the time we needed it. So technically, it's Tuesday by 8:00 now.
So
Deadline.
I was talking to him and a few other people who I know that are writers and have been writing for a long time. Is the deadline for you? And I've never been a writer, so I don't know. But they say a writer says that the deadline is kind of what gives them that juice, right? Of like the I don't know if it's the reason they do it. I wouldn't go that far, but do you think if you didn't have deadlines, you'd feel the same about being a sports writer as you do since you do have deadlines?
I think I'd consume a lot less caffeine, and I think I'd be a lot less stressed most of the time. The other night, to meet deadline, I stayed at the office all night long. I said,
Really?
I was there I think I got there on Sunday at like 4, and then I stayed until literally 9 a.m. in the morning.
No way.
With the five different teams and everything, and all
that's
the other
crazy,
stuff we gotta do
man.
and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot.
Hats off
It's a
to you.
lot.
That's
but I love it. It's it's my passion. So it's like it's what I want to do and for a career. And so it doesn't feel like work, even though I am there for 15,
awesome.
16 hours.
That's crazy. Hats off to you. Do you think that this is something Lonzo and I were talking about earlier? Do you think that print media is in a bad state, or it's not as a bad state as people make it out to be? Where are you at on that? Because Lonzo, I think you said, I don't know if you gave your full opinion earlier, but you said you didn't think print media was completely dead.
No, because thanks to online. I mean, because most of the publications are online now. I mean, it's I don't know how many actual printed papers there are anymore. So most people get their stuff online. I mean, you pick up your phone, there it is. You go to your place that you're comfortable with and look at it there. So thank goodness. I mean, when print started to go away, I was producing a show where the guys back then, before the internet, had to get everything they had from the paper. And you would see them going through the paper and figuring out what they were going to talk about. And then that slowly went away, and they went to those same publications, but they went to them online.
You also do a physical paper, though?
Oh, yeah. We do a physical paper. I'm there every single Wednesday morning putting labels on all the
That's
ones we ship out
crazy,
to people and everything. So,
that's crazy. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that y'all still do a physical copy. I'll tell you this, and I don't mean to be rude, disrespectful when I say this, but publications that used to be really good here in the upstate have just fallen flat on their face, and it's hard to find good publications anymore, especially the big one that was in Spartanburg. It's just it's a joke now, and I hate to say that, but when these big capital corporations buy and take over the local part of it, it kind of gets thrown out the window, at least in my opinion. Do you feel that?
So we're a little bit more of we're much more of a mom and pop type paper than we are a corporate capitalist kind of thing. So I will say there is a lot to be said for that kind of paper.
For sure. More freedom, I would assume, right?
Way more freedom. I mean, the fact that you can, I have a column in the paper that I can write, whatever I want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the topic is. It's just very, very open, very relaxed.
I love that. Do you think you would enjoy it as much if you were working for a big corporation?
I can't say.
Yeah.
I can't say because it has always been my dream.
Right.
Kind of like
for sure.
I would pass by the Greenville News office down when I was in college and be like, man, one day that's where I'm gonna that's where I'm gonna work.
For
so
sure.
I don't know yet, but I guess maybe
not a bad mouth them, but
see.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No,
It's just there's purpose of it being a local company.
Absolutely.
All right, you cover Burns, one of the teams that we hadn't talked about. They are off tonight. They have a much needed bye week. They're banged up. But I'll say this. This is a Burns team that I've only seen once. I'll see them again next Friday. You've seen them this year. They're super talented, but for me, they're a little bit tricky to figure out. They've as far as talent wise, they're as talented as anybody on paper in the state. Then when you see them play, Spartanburg had them on the ropes, Bowling Springs had them on the ropes, and Dorman had them on the ropes. However, I will give credit, like I said Saturday on the show, good teams, great teams find ways to win, and Burns has done that. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from Burns this year?
So you're right. It is kind of what you're going to get. Just depends on which Burns you get each night.
Yeah.
Like you have the Burns that comes in and whoops up on Greenville, beats them by 30.
Yeah.
You have the Burns that beats West Florence 49-0. You have Burns that loses to Chapman. You have Burns that
that's what I'm saying.
Nearly loses to Dorman.
That's what I'm saying.
The other night, and like you said, credit where credit's due. The good teams find a way to win.
Yeah.
Even when it gets tough, because It's like Coach Shaw, he calls it Region 2 black and blue because all of these games that they play,
For sure.
Dorman, Spartanburg, Bowling Springs, and then Gaffney obviously next week, they're
For
all
sure.
they're bloodbaths.
It's gonna be
every
tough.
single one of them. So you can't really, I feel like you can't really fault them too much, especially with playing in this region, because I mean it's hard to come in and dominate against all these teams every single week week out.
It's the, in high school football in the state, it's the SEC West, if you will, of high school football is tough.
Yeah.
When you look at, not looking ahead, but Burns off this week, when you look at next week's matchup between them and Gaffney, do you feel like from what you've seen that you have an idea or a pulse on who the favorite would be if you had to right now say that you have a favorite? To me, you toss a coin in the air and wherever it lands is your best bet in that game. It's Gaffney Burns, a ton of history there. Do you have any idea, a pulse, what, we're 7 days away now?
I'm right where you're at based on the coin toss kind of thing, because I genuinely think either of those teams could win state, and I wouldn't be surprised about it in the slightest bit.
Right.
That being said, I think a lot of it will depend on how healthy Burns can get by the time next Friday rolls around, because they do have a lot of injuries. I think they're 6 or 7, maybe 8 at this point. Starters have been injured in the last 2 or 3 weeks since region play started. So depending on how healthy they are, I think that's going to determine their fate a little bit. But no matter what happens next week, I would not be surprised, just like last year, to see these two teams meet deep in the playoffs again.
Do you think injuries are Burns' biggest hindrance right now to being at full strength in terms of them doing what they're capable of doing?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's definitely one of them because they have, like I said, probably going on near double-digit injuries the past 3 weeks to some of their starting players. But another one of their hindrances, I would say, is consistency.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
They consistently find ways to win, but they don't consistently handle teams the way you think they might handle them.
Right.
I predicted it last week, I predicted a 31-point Burns win over Dorman.
Yeah.
And credit to Dorman, because like I said, they fought.
They did.
They came in there and they weren't going to lie down. But you just, to have full confidence in a team, you want to see them consistently come in and handle business without sweat.
Yep.
Like you're supposed to.
Yep.
And so a little bit of injuries, a little bit of consistency issues. I'm not too worried about them though, because I think when the time comes and it's playoff time and they need to put it together, I think they will.
And we're talking about high school players, so I want to be respectful as much as I can be here. But when it comes to quarterback play is one of the most important, obviously positions on the field, the most important position. Is there any concern in your mind from quarterback play, what you've seen at Burns? I know last week Andrew Stevens had, he struggled. They brought in a new quarterback, the transfer from Bowling Springs, and he played a little bit against Dorman, had a big run for a touchdown. Is there any concern at all when it comes to their quarterback situation?
I don't think there really is too much concern because, like I said last week, Andrew, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He had a great run of games leading into Friday night against Dorman.
Yeah.
And like I said last week, again, things happen. Not every week's going to be your best week.
Right.
3 interceptions is rough, absolutely. But considering the conditions, it was pouring down rain. And Dorman's their secondary stingy too. That's not like that's one of the better secondaries in the upstate. That's not like teams don't hang that many points on Dorman.
Right.
I think 14-10 was the Dorman Bowling Springs game. So it's not like that's a bad defense he was going up against. But I think, like I said, an extra week's rest, kind of get some confidence back if he lost any confidence. I think he'll be ready to go as a starter this week, and I think he'll perform the way Coach Shaw has seen him perform the rest of so far this year. You also cover Greer, Blue Ridge. It's going to be a tough one for them tonight. They've struggled this season, but that Chapman team's a little bit different of an animal. So they're a juggernaut.
Yeah, I don't know.
They beat Burns. So
They beat Burns. That's a big win.
Huge
win.
If Blue Ridge beats Chapman tonight,
logically
that means that Blue Ridge would beat Burns.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, that's just, you just got to go with the logic.
Yeah, but I think we're safe saying, again, no disrespect to Blue Ridge, but Chapman's just they're a different animal. Have you seen Chapman yet?
At Burns.
At Burns. You were at Burns
versus Burns. They were
so you were at the Chapman Burns game.
Caught the end of that game. Love Coleman Gray.
Yeah,
they're
fantastic. Talented.
Yeah, I think he's going to the North South game. He's a fantastic QB. He's leading us to great things. And again, on the Blue Ridge note, Like you said, no disrespect or anything. It's a very easy team to root for.
Yeah.
Love seeing them get their first win last week of the season and clinch a playoff spot because region play, it's top 4 teams get into the playoffs. But going up against teams in that region like Chapman and Broome, that is no easy task. So TR next week, I think that's a winnable game for them, and I'm hoping to see them get on track.
For sure. So they did clinch a playoff spot, like you said, because
at least number 4.
You win one game and you're in. So all right. Then games tonight. The game you're going to be at is
Lawrence at Eastside.
Lawrence at Eastside. We had a text come in earlier about Eastside. A Eastside fan was asking about them and their region. So we appreciate your time, man. Been a pleasure. We'll continue to talk with you, I'm sure, on my show, but we appreciate you. Listen, I love good writing. I can't write, but I love reading it. So I appreciate you and your stuff. Excellent work from the stuff I read. So
I appreciate that, man.
Been a pleasure having you on, and we will continue in hour number 4 after Lonzo's Sports Flash.
Last night on Thursday Night Football, Trevor Lawrence went 20 for 29 for 204 yards and a TD as the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Saints 31-24. The Saints had a chance to tie the game in the final seconds of the contest, but the Derek Carr pass went off the fingertips of the receiver. Tomorrow in the Battle of Columbia, as the 2-4 South Carolina Gamecocks, like their coach, limp into Columbia, Missouri to take on the 6-1 Tigers. The Gamecocks bring one of the top offenses in college football, led by Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette. Unfortunately, they also bring one of the worst defenses. Kickoff is at 3:30. We are your home for Furman Paladins football and basketball. Tune in Saturday, that's tomorrow, as Furman takes on Western Carolina starting at 1 p.m. right here on the Fan Upstate. One more big hour of the Rob Brown Show coming up.
It's Burns is great. When Burns fills up that home side, it's fun. But absolutely, Gaffney's just a different animal, man. I never thought when I was at Burns, I was like, they do have one of the best fan bases, but Gaffney's just.
Well, and then when you
stupid,
get that traveling Burns fan base into Gaffney, and obviously Gaffney's got
next week's gonna be as the kids say, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Do you want to show him where the door is? I mean, don't go out the door. I mean, just because you will. Yeah.
Just tell him to leave.
No. You can stay the entire next hour if you want. I mean, I'm just saying if you were going to, you need to now because Nice to meet you. Don't go out. Wasn't kicking him out. I just, I am the timekeeper here. I keep things running. Keep going. I'm going to take us down for just a moment, but we'll be right back.
The theater's about to close. Wait, what does that sign say? Warning, watch your step? No, next to it. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that. Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at
We'll see if Cole makes it back in time.
This is Cole Bryson. Are you ready for the ultimate adrenaline-packed high school football experience? Tune into the Fan Upstate every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Saturday Morning Scramble. You'll get the latest scores, insight, and exclusive interviews with star athletes and coaches. Plus,
I don't know. Looks like he might not make it.
your local Bengals market all season. The Saturday Morning Scramble on the Fan Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and on your phone on the Odyssey app. Powered by Founders Federal Credit Union. Your morning jolt of sports. It's the Rob Brown Show.
I wouldn't mind. I know we're on record talking about Cooter, Jim Bob Cooter, and we're talking about Thomas Brown.
You gotta say it the right way, Rashad. You gotta say it. You gotta do it, man.
I can't do it with this swing, man.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Come on.
Hey, where does the one and only glue that holds this whole building together? Where's he work?
Who would that be?
Rob Jones.
It's directly over there.
I love that guy. I know we're on the stream, so.
I love everyone here, Cole.
Right.
I'm a team player in every way.
That's
Hugs for everyone. That's what I do.
Is he here?
Doubt it. No,
Not this early.
not this early.
Be about 11 o'clock.
Maybe. He does a lot of field work, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
I'm going to start turning my mic on, and as soon as the promo ends, I'm going to be talking before you have time to do it.
All right, I got to be honest with you. Rob can't do it either.
He can't do what?
He can't beat me to
that's tough.
to talking before I hit because
You're
it's
too
not
quick.
like I don't see exactly where it hits, but I've listened to the intro for a couple of years now, and and listening is my life, so I know exactly when to hit the button.
Good morning.
Only you, Lonzo.
Why does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me.
I think it bothers
Did I
me.
say it bothered me?
No, but
No.
you look a little perturbed. I
No.
mean, that should be like your favorite thing. It should be, or maybe this.
What's it
You
from?
didn't say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
You and I talked about that last time that I filled in, and I already forgot who it was that said that.
That's Booker T.
I thought that's what I guessed, and you told me I was wrong.
No, I would never tell you were wrong because you are always, always, always right.
So I did get a kick the other day. I have to tell you this story. I was listening with you and Rob, and the reason I bring this up is we had a somebody on the stream asking if Lonzo was going to do a wrestling preview on the show today.
Which I'm not. I mean, because that's what Thursdays are for.
Oh, is that
wrestling
day?
Well, Rob and I talk wrestling all the time.
Right.
So every day is wrestling day, but Thursday's Fight Club every Thursday now at 9:20, I believe it is.
And what does that entail for someone like me who doesn't know what that means?
We talk wrestling, we talk MMA, we talk boxing, we talk those videos of people fighting at Walmart or at a Cowboys game. We will break
Shots
those
fired.
down. And dude, have you seen? I mean, especially lately. I guess when you're inebriated or so into your team that you forget what high ground is. High ground is important.
Stop it.
And so if someone's above you and they want to, they're throwing their punches down, dude. You got to get out in the aisle, get up the steps, and make the ground even, or you're going to be at a disadvantage. I mean, if you're going to throw down at a stadium, at least have some strategy.
What ground is even at any stadium?
No, you come up to the same level that they're on instead of them being one level above. Most of these beat downs is someone up one level above punching down.
When two guys are intoxicated, I don't think they think, wait a minute, let me get on the same row as this guy.
Well, I've never drank, so I don't know, but I'm going to take your word for it.
I'm just guessing.
And I'm also just guessing that not all these people are drinking. I think
I would say no.
Likes to fight guy, and we both know someone both sides of the Clemson Carolina side likes to fight guy. He don't need beer. He don't need drugs.
That's not true.
He just needs to be in the same vicinity of someone who's a couple words and they're ready to throw down.
Fight is different than talk.
The
like to talk guy.
Talking smack can lead to fighting.
No, that guy's not. He don't want it.
It just depends. It depends on who you're with.
That guy doesn't.
I mean, you don't want to lose face with your boys because you're going to hear about it later. So someone says something, you're going to jump up. Yeah, well,
99%.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Like Dabo said, there's a 1%.
Yeah,
he's a 2.5%.
Yeah. So the only ones fighting at a Clemson game are bandwagon fans.
That's correct.
Because the true fans would never do that.
I saw some really bad fighting videos over the weekend at Cowboys Chargers.
I was gonna say that's the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
Did you see those?
Yeah, I saw some of them. They pop up on my feed all the time because Rob and I will, on occasion during commercial breaks, since we're always live on stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the X, if you want to check it out. Since we're always live on stream, we sometimes will break down, because there are people in real live situations who use a professional wrestling move when they're fighting. And some of those can be very effective on concrete. And it's you got to break those things down. You do. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm too old to fight that way. If you get in a fight with me, I'm using anything I can get my hands on. I mean, forget that fair fight stuff. I don't want to die. So I'm just going to,
I think it boils down to at NFL games, sober people don't fight.
So you've never wanted to fight at an NFL game?
No.
Okay. All right.
Never.
All right. Yeah. I don't, I love the Chiefs. I also love the Panthers. I don't want to fight anybody over it.
I have no desire.
Yeah. I mean, if a Michigan guy gets in my face and says Ohio State sucks and a bunch of stuff like that, they got scoreboard over the last 2 years. So I can't, I mean, if I'm being unreasonable back, it just shows I'm dumb. Okay. And I'm not going to do that. But I've had fans show up to live events wanting to fight me over things I've said about Clemson. I get your passion, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, calm down, dude.
The closest I've been, I'll tell you a story. This is terrible, but I'll tell it anyways. It's a good story. There was a South Carolina fan. And you know what, Lonzo? Now that I say this, you may know the guy. You may not, but you may know him. And as a South Carolina fan, the first, not the first national championship Clemson won, but the second one, the first of the two, you're
talking about the more recent championship.
No, the two recent ones,
okay.
First of the two.
Okay, well, because that would be the second and third championship, because they won in the 80s
correct.
before you were born.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I know.
In a you know how when your team wins a championship.
By the way, I wasn't trying to be that guy, but someone will be on the text line if you make a mistake and not point out that them Tigers have won 3.
So I know South Carolina fans don't experience this, but when you win a championship, the stores like Academy, for example, they'll open at midnight or 1 a.m. with championship gear, right?
They'll have the stuff ready just in case you win, but if you don't, then those shirts and hats go to other countries.
So I'm not. I've never desired to fight anyone about sports, right? The closest I've ever been though was this is all kidding aside, a Facebook.
So if I were to do that a bunch, that wouldn't make you want to. I mean,
not.
Okay, all right.
Love you,
I'm not gonna do that anyway. I just
So, anyways, somebody on Facebook who got their feelings hurt that talked a lot of trash about Clemson and then couldn't. What's the old saying? You can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen. They couldn't take the heat. They showed up at Academy with probably not the best idea. South Carolina fan shows up mad at me, and the other guy that I was with, shows up with several hundred Clemson fans there, wanting to fight, and the Academy parking lot, and it doesn't get any more Palmetto State rivalry than that. I mean, that perfectly describes this rivalry. I mean, let's just drive at midnight at 12:30 over to Academy where the Clemson fans are in line and by gosh, let's fight. So that's the closest I've been to a lot of NFL games.
Did you square up?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I'm not about violence.
All right. All right.
Not about violence.
I know that you probably could have taken care of it in other ways if necessary.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can't mention that on the radio, but yeah, could have. But what's so funny is that these two fan bases, in particular, Clemson, South Carolina. You were talking about the NFL fights. They don't fight like you would think the NFL. The South, you go to a South Carolina Clemson game. I've been to a lot of them lately, and you'll see some fights, right? In the stands, in the upper deck mainly, where the cheap seats are. But I don't know what it is about NFL games that you brought up. Why is it so?
They want to go, man.
It's
they
like
do.
You don't see the fights at college games. Now, at tailgate, obviously, that kind of thing. You see those videos every now and then. But in the stadium, it's like all the fights that happen are 50-year-old guys in their Eagles jersey.
Oh, there have been some good women fights lately too.
Really?
Those haven't been bad.
Pulling hair?
See, I mean that's the perception, but no, there's punches thrown, kicks, maybe some chokeholds. I mean,
Yeah, I just don't know
the
why.
submission game as far as fans go. It's just since the advent.
It's because an NFL game has an older audience in person.
I don't know.
Because you would think young people would like to fight more, right? Wouldn't you think that college kids would like to fight more than a 50-year-old man? Or does a 50-year-old drunk man just not have any self-control?
Or a 50-year-old man
who loves his team,
who paid a lot for those tickets, and it's just doesn't have a lot going for him in life because he's on the other side of life, because I know well how this is after 50, it's all downhill after that. So, he's got his house paid for. He's driving a brand new truck. The payments are low because he knew a guy. He knew a guy and been married for a while. His kids are grown up. They just graduated college, getting some kickback from that because they felt guilty and they're buying him stuff. Maybe they bought him those tickets. He feels like he's on top of the world. He feels like he owns that seat. And he has to defend it.
Yes.
And he has to defend the team. And he's looking around going, I don't know why everybody else ain't helped me. Why do you not want to defend your team the way I do?
Right.
I am the knight out here amongst all the people attacking. So I'm going to defend our team.
For sure. No, I agree with you. All right. Speaking of the NFL, I have a question for the audience, and I have a
He
question.
didn't expect a lengthy explanation as to, insight as someone who's over 50 and can tell a story, spin a yarn, as they said back in the day.
I appreciate
your meemaw, your mamaw, your mamaw, how do you say it?
How I say it?
Yeah.
Say what?
Meemaw, mamaw,
I don't
grandma.
have anybody that I call meemaw.
You did. My mamaw has been dead for a long time, but I called her a mamaw.
No, I never had a mamaw.
Okay, all right.
Just a grandma.
Would you call her a meemaw or a mamaw or a grandma?
Would I?
Yeah. What would you call her?
Grandma.
Okay, all right. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Probably. You might be a grandma someday.
You
It's
think
probably
so?
you could be.
I hope not.
Rocking a moo. You never know.
All right, back to my question for you, Lonzo, as well as the audience. 71307. Start your message with fan. You can also get your thoughts in on the stream like so many have done this morning on Facebook and YouTube. The NFL is the topic that we were talking about as far as fights go, Lonzo, but I want to keep it there for a minute. I want to park here for a second, and I want to ask you as well as the audience, because we do have a lot of Panthers fans, obviously, that are listeners, and a lot of Panthers fans in the area. But what I'm going to do, Lonzo, is I'm going to tell you the teams right now in the NFL that are at rock bottom. And I want you to answer the question for me, which is there any team in the NFL, Lonzo, that's in a worse spot right now than the upstates Carolina Panthers? Obviously, the number one pick, they're not, I don't think fans are booing them yet. I don't think we're to that point. I don't think that it's complicated status has been.
Well, fans would actually have to be in the stadium to boo.
That's true. But my point is, here's the biggest problem for the Panthers. They don't have a first-round draft pick. So you would like to
they
say,
did, but they traded it away for some short guy.
Well, you like to say that help's on the way, right? You'd like to say that there's help on the way, but I'm going to read you the teams, Lonzo. And I want you to just simply yes or no. Are the New England Patriots, and again, you can get your thoughts in 71307. Are the New England Patriots, one of the worst teams in the NFL, 1-5 on the season, are they in a worse spot, big picture-wise, when you're looking at the franchise? Are they in a worse spot than the Carolina Panthers? I say no.
I say yes. And here's the reason why. You have a coach on the downside of his career that maybe the owner is hanging on to too long because of nostalgia, a guy who you used to have a formula that worked that doesn't work anymore as far as draft goes. I'll draft I'll get draft capital and I'll bring in all these guys and it'll work, and it doesn't.
So you think the Patriots are in a worse
I
spot?
I do because
So I don't agree with that.
and one of those things is about looking towards the future, especially the immediate future, and looking towards expectations. The expectations for Carolina are not what the expectations are every year for New England Patriots.
You still have a coach, though.
Do you?
You still have a
Do you?
Hall of Fame. Yes.
Do you?
He's still on. I think he's still on the roster as of this morning. He's still on the coaching staff.
Well, as far as we know, we haven't seen any breaking news yet. But
Frank Wright, no disrespect, but he's not. But even if I were to,
But I want you to know that in case you haven't heard, I don't think Frank Reich makes it through this whole season.
Yeah,
I don't. But he doesn't have the tenure like what Bill Belichick does,
I know.
and because that owner is probably not going to fire him in the middle of the season. But him moving on after the season's over would not shock me. More than likely, it'll be, hey man, why don't you retire so we don't fire you?
I think the Patriots are in a better spot. Not much better. I think they're in a better spot than the Panthers. The Denver Broncos, Lonzo 1-5. Are the Denver Broncos in a better spot than your Carolina?
All right. First, I want to point out that one of the teams that I loathe, borderline hate, is the Denver Broncos. So I have some bias. So I don't know how much you can take out of my take on this, but I think they are much like the New England Patriots as far as expectations goes. You get a quarterback who everyone thought was the greatest thing in the world, which I never did. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Years on the station I've said that he is overrated.
That's right.
Yeah. And he probably should ride the pine. Then you get Sean Payton, who is a championship coach, coming back after being in the media, saying some things in the media about the former coach. Hopefully Sean Payton will stay humble. If you get it, you get it. I think the Broncos are in the worst place also because I see the potential in the Carolina Panthers with some of the guys they have there. I crack on Bryce Young all the time, but if he would just move his feet a little bit and look for his lanes and not stand back there and try to look over a mountain and see, I think he might be okay. He's no CJ Stroud, but you got to do with what you have.
I just don't see anybody on the roster right now that I look at for Carolina and think.
All right, so if you're just looking,
future.
if you're just looking at superstars, I can see why there would be a problem. But there are a lot of injuries, and it shouldn't be that hard to win the South. Denver has an uphill battle. Kansas City's on top. They've been on top for a very long time. You know who the king is there, and they can't figure out how to dethrone them. As far as New England goes, who's leading that division? It's Miami right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Buffalo? I mean, I don't know. It's one of the. I think it's Miami.
It's Miami.
Yeah. So I mean, they also are looking up.
Mm-hmm.
I just right now, if you had to go coach one of those three teams, which team are you going to? You're going to New England, you're going to Denver, or are you going to Carolina?
I'm not going to Carolina.
I'm going. Well, first of all, Denver, it's cold.
No, I'm going to New England.
And New England, it's also cold. So I'm going to Carolina because it's not cold.
Yeah.
Well, it's still cold a little bit in the winter. I think the Panthers overall is a better situation. Hey, they all stink. They do. It's not like it's.
But you think they have more upside than
I do.
All right, three more: Cardinals, Bears, Browns.
All right.
Versus the Panthers in terms of
who's
in the worst
Browns have a really good defense.
Yeah.
And they have had for a while, but they've got a really good defense this year. They've won some games because of their defense. If Deshaun Watson played football like he did early on in Houston, they would be pretty good.
Right.
And they show glimpses of that.
They do.
I think out of all the teams you've mentioned so far,
huge win Sunday.
yeah, all the teams you've mentioned so far, Cleveland would be where I would go. I think they have the best roster. I think they have the most talent. Arizona, I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
They're in a rough spot now.
Yeah, they are. And who was Chicago?
Chicago.
We're going to find
also
out.
1-5.
We're going to find out if it's Justin Fields that's the problem, or if it's was it Eberflus? I think is the coach. Is it Eberflus? Because Justin Fields is not playing because he dislocated his thumb. So we'll see.
I think it's. I hate to say this, but I think it's.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But we'll find out. If the backup, whose name I don't remember, comes in and just tears it up, lights it up, then maybe it is Justin Fields. Or maybe it's just that offensive staff and the coaching staff overall don't know how to use a guy who was really, really good in college. That doesn't always translate to the NFL. It absolutely doesn't. And Ohio State quarterbacks historically have not been that good in the NFL. But hopefully, I think C.J. Stroud has a chance to change that perception. But Justin Fields, not as good as advertised, but not as bad as advertised either.
All right, you ready for this? The Bears starter against the Raiders on Sunday. By the way, Jimmy G has been ruled out as well. The Bears starter, the backup for replacing Justin Fields, Tyson. His last name, I'm going to screw it up. It's Bagent.
That's right. Rob talked about he went with Bagent.
Bagent?
Yeah, we'll go with Bagent.
He played at Shepherd University.
It was a D2 school, right? Yeah. I mean, there's some good players in D2. There really are. I mean, and it's awesome when a guy like that makes it to the NFL. We'll see what he can do. But yeah, if that guy comes in and tears it up, I mean, they're playing the Raiders though. But still, if he comes in and tears it up, then that looks bad on Justin Fields. I don't think that's going to happen.
Why are you saying that? Does that have anything to do with the fact that where you went to college?
Again, there are guys who sit across there or over here and say, my bias has nothing to do with anything they say. I am not going to lie about that. My bias comes into play all the time. And I said at the beginning, I hope he does well because of where he played. Yeah. I also talked about how Ohio State quarterbacks do not fare well in the NFL. They do not. Receivers, on the other hand, they do pretty well. But the quarterbacks, not so much. And the Panthers are going to be facing in 2 weeks the guy who they should have took in the draft, and that would be C.J. Stroud, who also went to Ohio State and who was winning with Houston. And you didn't even throw Houston in there. That's the team everyone picked to probably be the worst team in the league, and he's winning with Houston.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think that right now, obviously, he looks like the better option, does C.J. Stroud. All right, we'll take a break. Come back on the other side. For those in the 9 o'clock hour that did not hear the 6 a.m. club, what they got to hear about my South Carolina bet, if it will cash, if it will fall flat on its face, as well as the unbeatens in college football that will be beaten this weekend on the Rob Brown Show next, right here on the Fan Upstate.
Do you want to talk to them while I'm away at the restroom, or
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
Okay, all right.
I was going to answer. So yes, Zach, it was Spartanburg. That's right. And Steven, do I know any Webbs? I don't think so. Webbs. Not off the top of my head, I don't. From Bowling Springs. I'm not sure. I'm better with first names than I am last names, but I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know any Webbs. Could be wrong though.
And now, Mark Ryan's Morning Sports Pin, powered by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
So if I asked you right now, what are the final records for Clemson and South Carolina in the regular season?
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in on the stream. We got a big crowd of 15 right now. Everett at home. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I lied. I do. Yes, I have eaten there. Now it hit. I have eaten there, Steven. What's his name? I know. Is it Rob? It's not Rob, is it? I do know who you're talking about. I didn't know. Are you part of that family? Let me know.
How do you spell Trey's name?
Trey.
Not that. The Stewart.
SW. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Stewart.
Okay, that's not how I spelled it.
Rob is your uncle. Sweet, man. I didn't know. You know what? When you say, again, I'm terrible with last names. I hadn't seen him in forever. Does he still have his long hair? Is he cut it, or is it still long? Do you know? I hadn't been to Holmes Hot Dogs, by the way, in a long, long time. Really long time.
Markets is proud to sponsor the Mark Ryan Sports Spin. From the playing fields to the stands to your own living room. Ingles
Still long. I love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's long. It's probably this guy's hair's. It's probably a little bit about close to yours. Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, about due for me to go get my biannual haircut.
every 2 years.
No, biannual means twice in a year.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
How often
I
they
just
sold it last year? I didn't know that. You don't know who bought it, do you?
I will go during the Thanksgiving week and
How much do you get cut off?
5 to 6 inches.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. I still have my hair. It still grows really good, and I am grateful for that. Because if I were to shave it off, there's so many scars up there. It would be, it would look like a movie villain, even more so than I do right now.
You have 3 ex-wives, and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700.
Yeah, I've seen that thing, man. That gets down there, Darth. I mean, yeah, I've tried to let my beard grow, but we're only allowed to have one really good looking beard on each station, and Diesel has that, and so, yeah, so no one can top Diesel's beard. I mean, Rob probably is the number 2. Mark Ryan and I were scraggly, so, but yeah.
What's I about to look up? Oh,
something awesome. Yeah, Mark struggles on that department. Plus, he would look like Vince McMahon if he grew it would be like the pencil evil looking mustache.
Oh, it's daylight.
It is. Looks like the rain's starting to let
long
up.
has it been daylight?
There's some cracks in the clouds.
Ooh, I could go for some chicken salad, baby.
I think they may be open at 10. No, they probably don't open until like 10:30.
I could get something to take with me though, couldn't I? Oh, my freaking.
Did you eat breakfast?
No, I don't eat breakfast.
Because if you another one of those weirdos. So if you ate breakfast, it would be lunchtime.
Breakfast.
You saw me eat my lunch. That was technically lunch.
Cameras are going nuts right now. They're moving right now. Good after that.
Oh man, he's checking his cameras.
It just blows up on my phone all day.
I don't know how Rob's bum is right now, but he's back there rocking the gown. I think his procedure was at 10.
I hope we get a pic of him in the gown. Chicken salad chick.
See, I could get that to happen. I could, because his fiance used to work here, so I know her. No, she hasn't worked here in a year or 2.
Really?
Yeah.
He was a sales agent.
Yeah, but I could text her and ask her to, but I'm not going to do that. I think that's a boundary I will not cross. It would be funny, but I'm not doing it.
Zach says, Cole, come see me at 941A Haywood Road, your pizza free. Where's that at?
Well, it's 941.
No, I mean, what is the
Just say you gave him an address and he asked, "Where's that at?"
I mean, what restaurant is what I meant? Doofus. Do you know?
You call me a doofus? You're the one who just said that.
Let's look it up.
I'm not. There it is.
Pizza and then I've never been there. You work there, Zach?
Yeah, he does. That's why he said that. I know that because
I didn't know if he owned it or.
Yeah, I've seen his posts. So yeah.
Pizza and then some. I've never heard of that. You been there?
No, but I don't get out much, as we know. So, well, you roll your eyes. It's not a
bad thing. You gotta get out and meet people.
I used to. I'm old, dude.
You're not old. Old's a mindset.
I'm older. Yeah, I know. I'm wearing a t-shirt and sweats. I can't be that old.
It is the fan upstate.
Oh, so that's the first time you've heard that liner.
You, baby. I beat you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the liner. Yeah, that's not the top of the hour. I only do that at the top of the hour.
So
yeah.
My chances are done for the day.
Yeah, they are.
We have no more hours.
Well, I'm sure you'll be back on again eventually.
No, don't think so. I think I just.
You think this is it? This is done? It's over?
We had a text that came in and said, DD wants you to talk high school football. Well, sorry, you missed 2 whole segments of it. Actually, 3. So you must have tuned in a little bit late. But hey, on the Odyssey app, you can go back and watch or listen, rather, anytime. You
could actually go back and watch on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. or the X. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could do that. But we prefer you use the Odyssey app because it's free.
We're gonna have to turn the stream off. I'm getting hungry over here. It's kind of getting.
He's looking up what time restaurants
hungry.
open and things like that. So that's the one thing about moving to mornings, because it changes your eating schedule and you get hungry for like lunch when some people are eating, their breakfast, and you've got to learn how to space that out for the rest of the day, or you end up eating 2 or 3 more meals than you normally would.
So I'm not a breakfast person and never have been. It just, for some reason, I don't get hungry till about 10 o'clock.
That's just so weird. But if you stay up really late, then it's probably not breakfast.
I don't think, I'll tell you this, and you may disagree,
and
it's fine.
You ain't never had an egg and cheese biscuit?
No, I love breakfast food. I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think breakfast, I think it was a marketing push and a lie that we listened to for so long that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. I don't think that's true in any way. I don't think, if you play sports, obviously it's different because you need the calories, right? You need the energy that the carbs provide.
Yeah, I think you hurt your body by not eating breakfast because you're feeding it a false line.
What about doctors say intermittent fasting is one of the best things you can do for your health?
If you pay a doctor, they'll say a lot of things.
Okay, but doctors also, they also told us that breakfast is the most important meal. So that's what I'm saying. You say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but at the same time, they say if you want to lose weight, one of the best things.
So admittedly, if you're watching stream, I put on quite a bit of weight. I got sick and it was in the hospital, and I put on even more than what I took off. But I do know how to lose weight, and I've done it before. I've lost nearly 200 pounds before.
Yeah.
And I ate breakfast. I ate 5 meals a day.
I'm not saying that that's.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that that's the only way to lose weight. I'm just saying.
Oh, there are a bunch of different ways. Whatever works for you is awesome.
I just think. By the way, I need to find that out. I pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
bad shape right now.
Yeah, not as bad a shape as me.
My point is, it's not the most important meal of the day. I don't think it is. I think the most important meal of the day.
If I didn't eat breakfast, I would not be able to function because really I need food. During football, we're going to ignore the stream right now because some guy named Rob's on there. Even during football, they asked my mom to give me an extra $1 each day so I could eat 2 lunches so I'd have energy for football. So I
said sports guys. Yeah. If you play sports, it's different. You need those calories. You need the intake. I get it, but for those that don't need it, I think it's.
Hey, Rob, is the gown form fitting? I'm asking for.
I want to friends during the break. I said that I want to see a picture. By the way.
And I told him I could make that happen, but I'm not doing it.
I want to see Rob in the gown. Let's get it up. It needs to go viral.
Nah, you don't need it. Don't do that, man. I mean, there are some
Rob's
things.
Rob's a guy that's proud of that. You know what I mean? Rob.
Yeah, but maybe seeing him in a gown will cause you to be insecure because you realize that you're not him. I mean, so it may hurt more than it helps. You maybe think you're hurting him, but you might be hurting yourself. I'm just
All
saying.
Right. For the 9 o'clock club, the 9 a.m. club right here on the program, in the 6 o'clock hour, we talked about.
Hey, we're almost done. Did this go faster than you thought it would?
Yeah, it has gone very fast, actually.
Okay, all right. It's because of me.
We haven't had.
You can thank me.
Thank you, Lonzo.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We had one guest, and that's it. So it has gone by a lot faster. But during the 6 o'clock hour, we talked about with the audience as well as Lonzo.
I think you should have worded that different, Rob. But anyway.
That's true. He's headed there now. All right. Good luck, Rob. Go knock it out, baby. Hope it all comes out good.
Stay tuned to 97.1 or 97.7 or on the Odyssey app, Rob. I don't know if you knew that.
That's right. Lonzo, for the third time, don't distract me any more than I already am. My ADHD's killer right now. My bet that
you know what you should never do around me.
Again. You've interrupted me 4 times in a row now.
You should never hesitate.
You've interrupted me now 4 times in a row. I do want your thoughts.
I'm back here now.
I want the audience thoughts as well. Text line 71307. Before the season started, I don't know why I did, but I put a bet in on South Carolina, and the total wins was 6.5. That was what Vegas had marked for South Carolina in terms of their total wins. I did think they would beat Florida and did think they would beat North Carolina. So I took over 6.5, and I placed that wager, and as of right now, I'm looking like the big dummy because the Gamecocks 2-4.
As of right now.
As of right now, keyword. As of right now, I'm looking like the big dummy. The Gamecocks 2-4. They're not off to a good start, obviously. I asked the 6 a.m. audience, and I'll ask you as well, 71307, start your message with fan. If there's any way a miracle can happen here, if there's any way my bet can resurrect itself and cash, as the Gamecocks are at 2-4 right now. So as we go through the schedule, you have Missouri this weekend, obviously tomorrow at 3:30. Lonzo and I both think that's a South Carolina loss. So that would put them at 2-5. I bet really not looking good then. Then you're starting to think, well, what kind of idiot would think they'd win 7 games in the first place? Obviously, I am the idiot here in this situation.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Lance.
Why? Who's
the caller?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from earlier in the
for being optimistic.
Who believes that they're going to
Yeah, I hope Lance is right.
Yeah, yeah.
So if they lose to Missouri, we're 2-5. I say we. South Carolina's 2-5. Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Lonzo says win. Is that what you said earlier? Is that right? I think you said
win the rest of the way. And I'm still a little iffy. All right. Anyway, you asked me what I said, so I'm telling you what I said.
Okay.
Win the rest of the way. I'm going with the loss tomorrow, but I still see a what unless the Gamecocks score 52 points. If they score 52 points, they'll win the game.
So Lonzo, if what you say is true, they'll be 2-5 after tomorrow. A&M will put them a win at A&M. Will put them at 3-5. Jacksonville State at home obviously be 4-5. Vandy 5-5. Kentucky 6-5. And in order for that thing to cash, it would have to come down to the Clemson game for them to get their 7th win at home. As the caller said earlier, they do get 4 games in a row at home. So is my bet dead all the way yet? No, it's not. It's not all the way dead yet. However, it's they're lowering the.
All right,
they're getting the casket ready.
Only non-Clemson and non-South Carolina fans should comment because I'm curious about people outside of the rivalry.
Well, we don't have
if
any,
they think, yeah, we do. It's called. I know there's someone on there who roots for Georgia. I know we've got some fans of other teams on there because. There is, I don't know if you knew this, there are big businesses in the area and people move in here from other places and they don't necessarily pick Clemson or South Carolina, even though for some people they think it's the law.
Yeah.
They still go with their team. And so they don't have a bias one way or another.
So to put a bow on that, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about my over 6.5. I think it's dead. I think they're getting the tombstone ready for that one. I don't think it'll hit. I do believe that the North Carolina game and the Florida game are the 2 games that cost me. South Carolina had a chance, really more than one chance, to beat Florida and failed to do so last weekend. So my over 6.5. Let us know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the stream.
All right, we need to go to break, but I just want to ask you something. Since you don't believe you're going to win this,
yeah, I don't believe.
If you do win it, can I have the money? Because I don't think you deserve it because you're doubting.
I'm a realist.
But if you're a realist, you wouldn't have made that bet in the first place.
Not a bad point.
You are doubting your own betting skill, and so if this happens,
they're 2-4.
Yeah, you go. If this happens, you're gonna feel really bad about taking that money. So how you would feel better would be to hand me that money, and then you feel good about yourself. I'm just trying to help you.
That does.
Help
That did help a little bit.
There you go.
All right, let's take a break. Come back. Final segment. Isn't it? Lonzo is already it's the final segment that quick.
It would be the final segment.
How did we get there that quick? A texter says, I think they only win 2 more, Vandy and Jacksonville State. I do agree. On the other side, it's the final segment, the best of the day, getting you ready for the weekend right here on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
By the way, you guys are just following suit because Rob told him he was doing a good job. Now you're telling him he's doing a good job. This is going to go to his head. I mean, come on. The size of the ego of the person over there.
Nothing's inside of it. It's empty. It's empty, Lonzo.
I think that's good advice, Stephen, by the way.
What did Stephen say?
It's towards Rob to make sure that his chart actually says Rob on it. Because you never know what could happen if your chart says something else and they do surgery that they weren't supposed to do. Yeah,
That makes sense. I never thought of that, but it makes sense. Tracy, most likely, I honestly believe they have potential to win out, but I doubt they get past 6 wins. I don't disagree. I mean, I kind of think that's what Lance was
offensively.
They have the
offensively, potentially, they have the skill to win every single game, but defensively, they do not. Yeah. They got the quarterback. They got Leggett. They're starting to get a running game. They're putting up points, but the defense can't stop nothing. When you're looking back at a Muschamp defense and thinking that they had a little more effort than this one, that's not good.
No, especially when Muschamp's record was better through 3 years, right?
I've heard that somewhere, as if that really matters. You know, back in 1937, them Gamecocks had a coach that was just well, anyway. I mean, you can make comparisons to turn it into something just to antagonize another fan base. Yeah, to a degree it is, but there's also, I mean, it gets tired after a while. Yeah, do not do that, please.
No, you don't trust me.
No, I don't. I don't trust anybody in this room. If Mahomes was it, have you seen what he's done the last couple games? I don't know if I trust him either. Although if Brittany's not hanging with Taylor Swift, then I think he's okay. I really wish you'd stop. I just want you to know, and that's not even a joke, because if that slips, that monitor goes down. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah, like I know you did that on purpose. Accidents happen.
Like this, don't you think? Honest question. Best way to go: over, sidearm, forearm. I think.
Who's throwing the ball?
Me.
You. I don't know. I've never seen you throw a ball. I don't even know if you're right-handed or left-handed. Okay. All right. You could be ambidextrous. You keep going back and forth. I don't know. Absolutely. Yes. And so could a bunch of other quarterbacks. That's their job. That's what they do. Yes.
Like this. If I did my eyes closed, it'd probably hit that my computer. Who do you have this much fun with on a daily basis?
No one ever. That Rob guy, wow, he's boring.
Me and Rob, we both brighten your life. Admit it.
You both do. Different levels, because he's taller than you, though.
Ooh,
so.
Tracy taking shots at my Star shirt. Did you see that? I didn't know we had any hockey fans in the building.
Transplants. We were just talking about transplants.
I love it.
I mean,
you know what, Tracy, funny story. And Lonzo, too.
Yeah, I'm here.
Before I moved to Texas, I absolutely knew nothing about hockey and could care less about it. But when you go to a hockey game in person, especially a playoff game, have you ever been to a professional hockey game?
No, I've been to like the Greenville Growl before they became.
I had been to that too.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Yeah, I've been to local hockey.
When I went to a Stars game,
I know there's Swamp Rabbits now. I haven't been to a Swamp Rabbits game because I work on Saturday.
Let me tell you, a playoff hockey game in person.
Oh, I can imagine.
It
looks like it would be a lot of fun. Also, I couldn't have fun because I'd be too worried about that puck coming over the glass, and I've seen that happen some, and it's just not.
I never felt that I was.
Yeah, people die. Okay.
Blackhawks, that's Chicago, right? Patrick Brown would know.
Yeah,
Patrick
it is.
Brown's a big hockey guy.
Yeah, he would know.
I enjoyed following it last year, especially in the playoffs, just because, I watched Dallas when I lived there, but
nothing worse than a guy that goes somewhere and he gets to go to WrestleMania and he goes to pro hockey games. He's not into it, but he gets to go, and all these people really wish to live that life and can't live that life, and just nonchalantly like, yeah, I'm hanging out backstage at WrestleMania. Like, yeah, you suck.
You know what? You're probably right. I probably don't. Still to this day, don't really think that was a big deal. But just because I didn't know anything about it. Now, if it was backstage at Super Bowl,
were there empty seats in that stadium?
Yeah, behind the
right, the Titantron where you couldn't see. Yeah. I'm just saying that's a lot of people there to be fans of something. I mean, I can't believe you're a wrestling fan. Okay. Well, no, there are people like that, and to them, I say, yeah, me and like a billion other people. I mean,
Why
whatever.
don't you do a wrestling show on this podcast or something?
We did for a while.
I just don't feel like you talk about stuff that's already scripted because there's no
I don't understand what you're saying. This show is completely scripted. This show is so scripted. You've done everything that I've wanted you to do.
It was scripted until the show started. And to be honest with you, how many segments are in this show? Was 3 times 4? Is that right? 12 segments?
Wow, look at you doing math.
Good morning.
Is that right? 12 segments? Something like that?
It is. It is 12.
I believe I had obviously all 12 scripted out, Lonzo, but I do believe we stuck to about half of them.
Which is my fault, and I don't apologize.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. I do. You know what? Somehow, some way, by the way, glad to be with you. Somehow our conversations during the break just get abruptly ended. They end abruptly, if you will.
Because the show continues on the break on the stream, because we are live on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the X. Check it out every day, Monday through Friday on this show. Also on Saturday on my show on the Upstate Pulse on WORD. Always live on social media. So you can see how beautiful we really are.
Not much.
Cole's so beautiful we can only have him on every once in a while.
Bingo. Glad you finally realized it, Lonzo. Glad you and Mark Kendricks realized
It's
that.
the job. It's the job of a with and an and, which I am a with and an and,
Right.
to butter up whoever's on the other side. That's what I do.
No doubt about it.
But you were saying the conversation that we were having off the air.
No, it's okay. I forgot what I was saying anyways.
Well, it's what I do. You're
Lonzo,
welcome.
it's Jesse from the Facebook stream. I think it's totally possible to win 7 for South Carolina with that high-powered offense. I think they can get there.
Exactly. If they score
tough,
if they score a ton of points, they can do it.
That would be seven wins. If to have 2, that's 5 out of the
See why you put yourself in a bet like this where you say it's unrealistic, but at the same time you still want it to happen so you can make money.
I'm a realist.
Okay. No, again, you don't make that bet if you are. And South Carolina should have beat North Carolina, and they should have beat Florida. You're absolutely right. They should have.
Right now.
They would. And then you feel much better about it.
Cash.
But, what fun is betting if you don't get yourself in a situation where you're not sure if it's going to happen?
That's right.
I'm guessing that's the thrill of it.
It is. Especially, I like preseason bets because it doesn't happen quick. It's like a slow death,
Hey, I bet on wrestling all the time, but not in the way that you do. The loser has to stand against a wall for 30 seconds and face a barrage of Nerf bullets, which are a lot harder than you think. And especially when you got like 100 of them coming at you at once. And I'll be doing that tomorrow night because I lost. Wow. Because I'm not good at betting, which is why I don't. There's video every time. I just said that we're on.
It's on your show?
Yeah, it will be. Yes. We've been doing that for like
Who gets to
8 years. Everybody else is on the show. If you want to just show up,
Who's on the show?
Tomorrow we are actually having our sponsor from Borderlands Comics and Games, Rob Young, on. He has a. Did you ever see Predator? Okay, so there's those rotary
for the radio.
Yeah,
audience,
he just. No. If you ever seen a rotary gun, the thing that has to spin up,
yes.
He has a Nerf gun like that.
Yes,
cool. And it's not when you're getting shot by it. So he's going to be there.
Really?
It does. All right. It's not like oh my God, I'm going. It still stings. Yes, especially if you're hit in certain places. You try to cover those places, but you cannot cover all the places that it hurts a little bit. Okay. I've only had one person ever refuse to do it, everyone's done it. We do have some guns that are that shoot out the round Nerfs. We don't do those too much because those I can stand.
The balls, you mean?
Yeah, I can stand at the Word Studio and hit the wall at the other end of the building.
And they come out pretty.
And so imagine that like 5 feet away.
That's tough.
It is. So it stings. If you want to see that, it'll happen tomorrow night around, I don't know, 7:45 or something near the end of the show.
There's Lonzo's show.
And I invite you if you want to come in and I'm talking to Cole. I'm not talking to you guys because you guys are sadistic and you got the listeners. No, you can't come in. But if Cole wants to come in and shoot me with a Nerf gun, that's fine. But
don't tempt me.
Yeah,
I'm
just letting you know that when it's happening. So we do. The only person who's never been on the wall, stinking Rob Brown.
Been on the what?
Been on the Nerf wall. He's the only one who's never lost. Cameron had the record of like a couple years of never losing.
Is that your
son? Yeah, but he lost last time. And so Tim Snow has been on that wall many times, and so has everybody else. But Rob Brown never on the wall.
I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. All right, this weekend.
Yes.
Which unbeaten has the best chance of being beaten? Which
Penn State.
Ooh, wow! I didn't even get to name them, and you already.
Well, I've been in my
Georgia's off, by the way.
Yeah.
And Liberty played Tuesday. They're undefeated. They beat Middle Tennessee.
Wow, you're throwing Liberty in there. I guess they are undefeated.
All right, so
does that mean you acknowledge that Florida team
Penn
that
State
supposedly won the
at
national
Ohio
championship?
State,
Yeah.
everyone knows why Lonzo says Penn State will lose. They lost to Ohio State.
Well, either way, an unbeaten is going to lose. So because they're both unbeaten.
Correct. That is good logic there.
Yeah, thank you.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah, not even Steiner math.
But obviously, you're siding with
I am,
Ohio State.
I am wearing the shirt.
Yeah, you should be. Washington 6-0 versus Arizona State. I don't see that one being.
Washington's okay there. Yeah,
I think they're okay. I think they stay unbeaten. I hate to do this, Lonzo, but with Penn State, I think I agree with you. Where's that game at? Is it
it's in the shoe, baby.
Is it the shoe?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
I don't know. Michigan could lose to Michigan State only because, and we didn't talk about this, Michigan is under investigation for stealing signs. It's a big deal. It's everywhere. I didn't bring it up because I don't like talking about Michigan, but even in this light where who knows, maybe they end up with a forfeiture or something.
Hopefully they'll return them. It'll be okay.
I hope that every game they've ever won in the history of mankind is just taken away from them. But that's just me.
Michigan's the first team since 1936 to score 30 or more points while allowing 10.
Yeah,
or fewer points.
Their strength of schedule so far not very. I mean, but they are back end heavy as some of us are, and they will. They're going to face stiffer competition.
I do agree with your Ohio State win. I just haven't been impressed with Ohio State's quarterback play.
Here's the thing. He's progressively getting better. You come into the first game and they haven't named an exact starter yet. Right. So I think different aspects of that team are improving every week. Yeah. We haven't seen a complete Ohio State team. They're ahead of schedule. They were ranked too high. They should not be where they are, but they're there. So, I mean,
Kyle McCord, right?
Yeah. And if they beat Penn State, they got a good shot of beating Michigan also.
I think they stole one against Notre Dame.
That's on Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have enough people on the field, that's your fault.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Should they go, wait. They only got 10. Why don't you bring it? No.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Michigan at Michigan State. Any chance the 7-0 Wolverines?
Yeah, that's what I just said because of the cheating scandal.
Chance,
no.
That cheating yeah.
No. It is a rivalry to a degree. Yeah. Michigan State hates being called little brother, but that's what they are.
Oklahoma 6-0, Lonzo against UCF.
Who's that coach for Oklahoma?
He is Mr. Brent Venables.
Does he ever get back, coach? I haven't watched any of their games. Did that guy go with him?
Yeah, I think I don't know if that guy did, but
he's got one. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if maybe he calmed down as egg. He has a very good opportunity to be the best assistant coach to ever leave the Dabo tree and actually win, because all those other guys, they don't do well at all.
That's true. The Sooners, by the way, rank second.
By the way, Oklahoma's going to win.
They will. They rank second in FPI, just behind Ohio State. They have the highest probability of winning out of any undefeated team at 41.1% this season versus the rest of the competition. North Carolina 6-0 versus Virginia. I don't think they have any problem handling the success there.
It's got to be hard on you, North Carolina being as good as they are, and you got a shot at probably at least playing for the ACC championship.
They probably will be,
and they don't look like a paper tiger or the Clemson Tigers are down, so somebody else had to do it.
So it gets better. Florida State 6-0 facing Duke. Any chance? Obviously,
actually, that's a better game than some of the other matchups. Yeah.
However,
if Duke were
Duke's injury at quarterback concerns me. I don't.
Yeah, it does. But if Duke were to beat Florida State, it wouldn't be that much of a shocker. I don't think it's going to happen though.
I don't think it'd be a huge shock, but I don't think it'll happen either. He's still day to day with that high ankle sprain. Hadn't heard if he'll be back or not. Florida State still has Miami and Florida on their schedule. Tricky game at Pitt. Pitt just had a big win over Louisville last week, 2-4. We'll see. Air Force, they're unbeaten, 6-0 at Navy. they lost their quarterback to a knee injury. He looks like he's going to be out for the season. Zach Larrier, if you will. Navy may be a problem for him. Not sure. James Madison's still undefeated, 6-0 at Marshall.
Wait a minute.
That was last night.
Okay.
What'd you say?
It's like you're throwing in James Madison?
Well, they're undefeated.
Yeah, okay. All right. That is the criteria that you put forth.
And that's it. That's all of them. That is the list right there. All the undefeated teams.
Who to you is the most likely to lose out of all those?
Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State, no doubt. If I had to pick a second one, I would probably say not Washington. I don't think Michigan loses to Michigan State, man.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I want to see it happen. I do.
Maybe Florida State.
I mean, Duke has been good.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, it's too, they're not playing a patsy. At least they don't appear to be.
Right.
Duke beat somebody that had high expectations. Who was that? I can't remember that team. It was like early in the season.
Yeah.
Who did Duke beat?
I'm forgetting.
Oh, it's Clemson. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, they beat Clemson.
Not funny, Lonzo. Not funny.
Got to end the show the way we started
All right,
it.
speaking of the end of the show, we appreciate you being with us. You can catch Rob Brown back on Monday. Lonzo, appreciate you as always. Hey, Saturday morning scramble tomorrow, 8 to 10, right here on this very station. No Burns football tonight. It's a pleasure being with you. This has been the Rob Brown Show. Cole Bryson filling in right here on the Fan Upstate.
All right. Thank you to everybody on the stream. We're going to jump out a little early because, I'm going to escort Cole out of the building. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to escort him out of the building. I'm going to boot him out of the building. All right. Bye-bye. See everybody tomorrow and Monday.